This is the payoff. Oh! This is the payoff. The This is the payoff.
Well, hello, good afternoon, and welcome. You are watching live pictures of the national training site for the Italian Water Ski, Surfing and Wakeboard Federation. And we are coming to you live from Riceto, which is in the region of Piemonte and the province of Novara. We're only just a few miles outside of that wonderful city, and right here at these triple lake setup here. And many of our teams, many of our athletes have already practiced here, but now it's time to open up the big one. Yes, it is the World Water Ski Championships of 2025. I'm Tony Leifert, and glad to have the pleasure of your company as we take a wonderful drone shot over the Three Lake site there. You're looking at the slalom course where our first 5 competitors in these championships will do battle in just a few moments. All said and told, today's competition will yield 31 skiers between the 4 series of slalom that we'll have today. And there you see our schedule. We have series 10, 9, 8, and 7 today. 5 skiers in series 1, series 10, 8 skiers in series 9, 9 skiers in Series 8 and 9 skiers in Series 7. So some great conditions we've had so far all week. The practices have been going along pretty good. Official familiarization ended just minutes ago. And we are here in the middle of northern Italy. The World Water Ski Championships about to throw down in just a few minutes. So just waiting a little bit longer for our boats to make an appearance, and then they'll be run up and down. The simulation passes, and then we'll take on our first 5 skiers in this event. And it has been an absolutely wonderful setup here. The Italians certainly know how to roll out the red carpet when it comes to organizing events like this. They've done it on several occasions before. The very first time the World Championship event ever took place here was in 2001, so they've had some pretty decent experiences from that point, and since then. There is Kerry Lee, our chief judge for this event. She's come to us all the way from Zachary, Louisiana, and she leads a fine group of judges and officials, drivers, homologators, so on and so forth. So. Just waiting for our first few skiers to make their way to the dock, and it's going to start off with men's 10. So make sure you grab your favorite beverage, grab your favorite seat, because yes, we are about to throw down an event, a championship that only takes place once every couple of years. It is the World Water Ski Championship organized by the International Water Ski and Wakeboard Federation. We have less than 8 minutes to go, and when we come back after this break, we'll send out our first competitor to get these championships underway. All that to come right after this.
USA.
Morning, Brian.
Hey, morning. You have a good weekend?
Yeah, got out on the water a couple times. How about you?
Yeah, I got a set in. Just gonna make a quick phone call here. Oh, of course. Can you get that, Will?
Yeah, man, I got it. Thanks for calling Wake House. This is Will. Yeah, looks like we've got those in stock.
Get ready, set, go. It's that time. Everybody kick it and go. Go. On your mark. Get ready, set,
For skiers and water enthusiasts, Florida lakes are what dreams are made of. Combined with world-class golf, remarkable weather, natural beauty, theme parks, and so much more, it's easy to see that Florida is paradise. For more than 30 years, I've enjoyed Florida's lakes and many offerings. If you are interested in Florida real estate, let me be your guide and trusted advisor as you search for your paradise. Together, we can make your dreams a reality.
take a look at you and start to lose my balance. What am I falling into? This feels like something new. I've seen a lot of views, but they were nothing like this. The way you do what you do, I think you're something brand new.
World record ropes masterline.
What if I told you there was a place place where the sounds of nature are only broken by the roar of a boat. A place where that summer feeling lasts all year long. A place where the Florida sun is only outshined by the smiles of the skiers. A place where first-time skiers can ski alongside world champions, and the world-class coaches work with all levels of skiers. What if I told you there was a place where life slows down, and your only job is to make lifelong memories? That place is Swiss Water Ski Resort. Book your trip at SwissWaterSkiResort.com.
All right then, folks, welcome back to live and continuing coverage of this, the 2025 IWWF World Water Ski Championships, coming to you live from Riccetto, the site of the Italian national team. And here is our start list for Men's Series 10. We have Ryuta Funo, who will be leading us off in these championships, followed by Stepan Špak from Ukraine, then Jakob Bonya from Sweden, Park Taegum from South Korea, and Dima Thompson will end off Men's Series 10 Slalom. Now, our first competitor we see on the dock there, right behind our leader, our start list, is Ryuta Funo. And I'm sure that he's got some folks watching him right now, and it's almost 9 o'clock in the evening over there in the land of the rising sun, the nation of Japan, and they'll be rooting for him, I'm sure, and he's got some support here upon the shore side as well. And he's quite a popular figure across Asia, Ryuta Funo. And we'll find out what starting line length he's going to be on. He's going to be on 16 meters, apparently, it looks like from this perspective. So we've waited 2 long years since the last World Championship in 2023, when that was held in in Lake County, in Groveland, in Florida specifically. And now, 2 years later, we are here. The World Championships, everything that has happened so far this season has led up to this. First skier out on the water, Men's Series 10. Coming to us from Japan, it's Ryuta Funo. Skier rising up a little bit off the wakes, and round number 5. Round number 3, as a matter of fact, he gets round number 5 not too long afterwards, and there you go. Great skiing there for Ryuta Funo. And there is Scott Ellis at the helm of that Nautic towboat, doing a grand job out there. And sitting next to me, let's welcome him back. He's done some sterling work so far this season at various other locations and other events. He is Zane Nicholson. How you doing?
Yeah, Tony, I am super stoked to be here in Italy, and we have got the Worlds underway. This is what everybody's been looking for all season, and it is finally time. It is here. We got our first skier on the water as we're checking out the replay, and looking good to open it up.
Yeah, looking a little nervy off number 1, I do have to say, the ski rising up. But I tell you what, once he got past number 2, then he found his legs, and he looked pretty good out there.
Yeah, but can you blame him, Tony? We're here at the Worlds. You're the first skier on the water. Everybody's been looking forward to it, and I understand it. I'd be probably a little nervous too, but got his way through that. That's the best part. You get those nerves underway, get them out of the way, and now you can go to work here. So it's good to see him get through the first pass, and now we'll get him rolling through pass number 2 here in just a second.
And Jakob Bonya just chomping at the bit, ready to take to the water himself. He'll be second off the dock. He'll actually be third off the dock. Stepan Špak should be second on our list. Oh, and Ryuta Funo on 14.25 meters. Getting settled down now. He got into a little bit of a situation there with the first couple of buoys, but 14.25 meters under his belt, and some good skiing so far from Ryuta Funo.
Yeah, I mean, you saw him. He had a little bit of a big 2 there, Tony, but made his way through that pass and was looking nice smooth. And you see there you go, gives a little bit of flex to probably the rest of his team over there on the dock, and he's happy to make it through his first two. And that's what we want to see out of our skiers. We don't want to see anybody going down early. And Reuto is looking good here through pass one as we take a look here at the replay there, Tony.
Yeah, not bad. He manages to get into his lean, and a little bit of separation off for number two. Wouldn't you agree there, Zane?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of turned it a little hard, so you saw the boat kind of pull back on him, but he did a really good job managing his speed over to three, and then kind of got everything back connected, and the back half of this pass was looking nice and smooth, and that's really what we want to see, especially on these first couple passes. They're kind of get a feel of the water. I know everybody's had sight familiarization, but, still trying to feel out the water, feel out the driver, feel out the boat, and he did a really good job here. So now he's, it's time to go to work. It'll be 13 meters, and, that's kind of where you got to put it all together.
All right there. So we see Scott, the Rocket Man Ellis, who has competed in enough World Championships himself. I think the last time he competed at the World Championships was either the previous one or the one before, both of them in Lake County. But here we are in the region of Piemonte, in the province of Novara, in northern Italy. There we go, 30 meters. And now Ryuta is fairly realistic about his chances of making it through to slalom final, but that's not stopping him right now.
No, I mean, he's out here and skiing well, and, again, 3 passes under his belt. So we see this kind of the same thing happening at 2 and 4 that we saw at 14. He just kind of comes up and really slams that turn. Maybe we can see here on the replay what's going on with him, but, 1 through 5 I think looks really smooth. See, he goes out, carries the rope out, nice and smooth here. Now watch this turn here, Tony. It's a little heavy. Boom, kind of drops that elbow in. He kind of pulls with the arms a little bit going that way, which causes him to not swing out as far as he would like to. And, then he kind of has to drop that shoulder. But, does a good job staying over his feet and getting through that pass. And, now it's going to be, the first skier on the dock has already made it through 3 passes, and we're into 12 meters.
All right, then. So Ryuta Funo, I believe his personal best is a good portion of the way through this run. I don't think he's actually run through 12 meters. We'll have a look and check to see what his recent results have been. 1 on 12 in one of the tournaments in Japan, Japan Nationals, getting into as far as 14.25 minutes. But so his results have been a little bit varied, but we'll see if he can at least get past 1 on 12 meters to represent the best score of his season so far. But if he gets a good hook up here, which he does, look at this, he's still there on number 2. He gets around number 3, he'll ski to the wake, his best score of the season. There you go, Ryuta Funo.
And opening things off great, Tony. That's a best score of the season. That's what we want to see here. Everybody's been training and they want to crush it here, and he is happy. I don't know if that's a PB, but that's great skiing. And here we go. We got a little showmanship here coming into the dock, and he is pumped. That's what we want to see.
Absolutely. There's a man who is as happy as Gilligan out there.
Yeah, I mean, his whole set, I thought he looked pretty good. Had a couple of big turns, but nothing too bad. Now, let's take a look here at the gate. He lost his speed a little bit here, which kind of causes him to come up a little short out of 1. So you see he kind of waited to make that turn, then pulls a touch long here to 2, but stays over the feet. That's a really good job. You see the separation there to 3, which is going to cause that ski to run, but I think he kind of knew it, so he makes the S-turn, gets back before the boat guides, and, there you go. He has set the bar for the rest of the skiers this week, 3 at 12 meters, and, like you said, he's pretty pumped about that.
Served as a Japanese liaison between the students that came over to Bennett's Water Ski and Wakeboard School in the springtime of this season, and he did a good job in that respect, being able to break through the language barrier for a lot of those students and the coaches at that facility. So good on Ryuta Funo there in that capacity, and his capacity as a tournament skier. This is Jakob Bonya, and this is 30 meters. Now, we've seen this skier compete at professional level in seasons past, but because he hasn't registered a high enough score in this season, ordinarily you would see him in maybe Series 4 or 3 or even 2, but he's all the way down in Series 10, and you just never know. He might produce a score into 10.25 meters right now, and wait 2 days later and find out these maybe has a chance of going through to the final.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob coming off of an injury. I believe he had a pretty bad ankle injury, so kind of kept him out of skiing last year, and he's kind of gotten back. And the first time I saw him this season was at the Open Europeans, and he was still kind of getting settled on his ski. I know he just won the Swedish Nationals last weekend, I do believe. So he's kind of coming into form right now, looking good, and it's great to see him back on the water. And we'd love to see a score right here today into 10.25, and that'd be kind of similar to years ago we saw Javier Julio come out, and he was on like one of the first days and had to sit around, and then
just to qualify into a runoff.
Yeah, exactly, just to have him a runoff. So wouldn't that be cool to see Jakob come out here right now and throw out a huge score and just sit atop the podium for several days and possibly even make it into the final.
All right, then. So actually, a season's best from the Swedish Nationals that took place not too long ago was 4 at 10.75 meters at the Open Nationals. He comes to us out of Nykoping's Vansky Club. This is Jakob Bonja and 12 meters. And, he's just getting settled in here. He's not trying to do too much on the turns, and that's exactly the right strategy at this point in the proceedings there. That was 13 and 12, now getting ready for 11.25.
Yeah, I mean, and Jakob, he's really tall and stays, he really stays tall on the ski, and so that kind of causes him to get the leverage. So he swings out, has plenty of space. He doesn't really have to crank the turns or anything. He can rely on his pull behind the boat and that leverage behind the boat to, to make these passes nice and smooth. And right there, that was textbook 12 meters, and that's what we expected that out of him. I know, he's like one of these first skiers, but we're expecting him to run this one and the 11-meter pass, and he is fully capable of getting that through that 10.7. And I believe his best score is 3 at 10.25, Tony, which would be right there, able to make the, at least for a runoff for the finals. So.
All right, then. So our second skier who was scheduled on the list, Stepan Shapak, not able to make it to the dock in time for slalom, but we should be able to see him jump a little bit later on in the week, our Ukrainian skier. But what we do have on the water is Jakob Bonja, and he's about to go into 11.25 minutes. He's already taken the lead away from Ryuta Funo, and let's see what he's got here. 11.25. Good start. Look at this. Barrels into number 2.
Ooh, he was slow off a 3, Tony. That's he's going to have to work here, but.
Getting down and dirty off number 5, and he gets around number 6. Yay!
Yeah, I mean, I thought he had a really good start there, Tony, and then got a little bit slow off a 3, and he really kind of needed that turn off a 5 and was able to get it, kind of laid down the hammer and got through it. So there you go. I mean, we're 2 skiers in, and we're already into 10.75. This is getting ready to be an awesome week of skiing.
Is this even possible that we could see a skier from Series 10 and possibly find out for a spot in the final?
I mean, this next pass will kind of tell you here if he can get that same start that he had and kind of get that ski tip to engage there. You see it kind of popped on him there. I don't know. He almost blew the tail. It kind of looked like so. Then he kind of had to safety check forward just to keep the ski in the water. And here's where he got that big turn he needed, and he gets around, kind of gets on the tail right there. Had a little bit of speed, but other than that little ski hop at 3, that pass looked really nice in my opinion.
Well, there you go, and and we've got our next skier about to take to water, Taegum Park, coming to us from South Korea. Now, he's facing an uphill battle, isn't he, just to stay on track?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have his work cut out for him, but you never know. Here 39. We go, though. This is 39, Tony. This is, if you can run this one, now you're putting yourself, in the hat for making the finals. So let's see what he can do here on the gate.
Entrance now. Oh, look at that. Good hook up on number 1. Looking still there for number 2. He's round number 3. Is this possible? Is he? And he gets round number 4. He'll score 3.5 for that. But I tell you what, right at the very, very start of these World Championships, and already a skier deep into 10.75 meters, that is Jakob Bonja.
Yeah, and I mean, you can tell the frustration there because he had this one going, Tony. I mean, gets that awesome gate, doesn't really get any extra speed. You see, hooks up really nice out of 1. It looks good here over to 2. I really, I thought when he got here to 3, I thought he was going to run it, and gets off of 3, a little bit broken over here, so it kind of makes him start moving a little fast, and then there he just tries to grab a little more than he needed and couldn't hang on to it. And, he had that one going. I thought he was going all the way through. That is, that you can see there, he was just a little bit frustrated because of that, because I think he was thinking the same thing I was, had this start here and really should have run that pass.
Well, it's a season's best. Almost a season's best. He got 4 at the Nationals, but he was very, very close there to achieving at least an equality with that. But that's 3.5, so puts it out there. Get after it.
Yeah, and I'd say he's probably going to sit there on top of the leaderboard for quite a while there, Tony. That's a huge score for our second skier off the dock in this World Championships.
All right. All right, then. So let's see who we've got here in Taegon Park from Korea. And just hot off the water, got changed as quickly as he could, is our good friend Ryuta Funo coming to us from Japan. He's not quite used to our setup here at TWBC, but let me hit that switch on there. And Ryuta.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, well done.
Thank you so much. I just tied my PB.
There we go. Excellent.
Yeah, and last time I did my PB was 10 years ago at Bennett's.
Yeah.
So.
Well, heck yeah, dude. That's what we like to see here.
I'm super happy about that.
Yeah, no, we're super pumped to see you out there. We could tell you're fired up and dude, it was great skiing, man.
Thank you so much. We have Joe Nakamura next in our team. Yeah, he will be a good score.
Yeah, Joe Nakamura is actually going to be in Series 9. He'll be second competitor out. But what can you tell us about this skier from South Korea there?
Who is it?
It's Taegon Park.
Yeah, he's a good slalomer. Not knows very much, but yeah, all the Koreans are good skiers, especially in slalom.
All right then, and getting that job done with that opening pass, which I think was 16 meters, wasn't I correct? Coming back on 14.25 meters, and the intensity starts to ramp up a little bit here, Zane.
Yeah, no. Now we're getting to where I would call this the first short line pass. It's still, you can't go too hard here, but Tegan Park working his way through it, and a little bit down course there off the 3, Tony. So gonna have to work here.
Come on, he's gonna have to work.
More,
come on, keep going. Oh, does he get around number 6? Just about.
Degrees.
Yeah.
Now he was close at the gates there, Tony. You saw him turn around and look. That was pretty close in the exit gate. So hopefully he got through them, and we get to see him come back in at 13 meters.
Wow, he certainly had to work hard, and a lot of his lateness in the slalom course is just a product of him, just pushing too hard too soon at the tail end and not allowing the ski to actually finish off the turn and establish angle that way, Zane.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the other thing is you kind of see him. We'll see on the replay here, he was coming up a little bit short at the buoys, wasn't quite getting out wide enough in front of him, and it was causing him to run down course. But you see he rolls in, gets the ski under the line here at the gate, so it wasn't too bad there. And then you see off of 1, that was pretty nice. But when he gets here off of 2, watch what happens here off of 2. It caused him to get late at 3. You see the hands come in. Now he kind of starts to separate there. He gives up that lead shoulder going in, and that rolls him in, and he starts running with the boat. Now you see the separation with the handle to the hips, and that's causing him to run. And, does a good job to manage it through this pass.
Just barely round number 5 and round number 6. Now the gates will be an issue here.
It looks like they gave it to him, so they're bringing him back in here at 13 meters. So good on him for getting through him. And now
we
got
go.
a chance to run this 13.
Or a little bit of a shaky pull out there on 30 meters.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, absolutely. He's almost ate it.
Still keep going.
Keep going, keep
One
going.
more.
Oh,
Is that inside or outside?
I think outside, but it'll be 4.5.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he got outside of it, and I mean, Tony, I agree with you there on the gate. He kind of was a little shaky there, but really got his ski under the line, got his feet under him, and got a good one and was ready to go. And you see here, a really good job there with kind of that shaky gait, gets a good one, but then you see that shoulder rolls up, go into 2, and that's what causes him to run with the boat. And then he gets really separated here. And almost loses it, but good job.
He was almost eating rocks at that time.
Yeah, he almost might have ended up over here on the shore, but did a good job to stay over the ski, and now you just see he keeps getting separated right there. He got so separated, and the ski just didn't want to turn for him. So that was good to stay over his feet off of 3, off of 2 going to 3, but not quite enough to get through that 13-meter pass.
Okay, just looking at this one more time, Ryuta.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good, but I don't think he got enough intensity behind the boat before he threw that ski inside, and he was always going to be late down course after that point. Got around that number 3 and got round number 4, but he was getting even later at this time, so his options would have been limited. But he does get that ski outside number 5, and should get 4.5 for that effort.
Yeah, but keep skiing. Well done.
All right, 4.5 is what they've awarded him on 30 meters. That is Taegon Park. And we're now coming up to the end of Series 10. We've only have 5 skiers in this series. All the other series that we have will have at least 8 in them. And it's going to be Dima Thompson, who works with us quite a bit on the TWBC broadcast. So before we do that, so how have things been going with you? I mean after you left the United States and after Bennett's, and how's the season been for you?
I've been doing good. I tried my best to get to ski every weekend, and this world I'll do all 3 events. But my main event is the slalom and trick, and I just had my PB in slalom, and in trick, I tried to beat 5,000.
Excellent.
In trick.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And you do wonderful toe wake back-to-back reverses. I do have to say.
Yeah, I've been trying that one like more than 4 months, but now finally
it's getting consistent.
Consistent.
All right,
and
then.
Being confident.
And we'll look forward to seeing you there and in the tricks event. But you did a wonderful job there with the slalom event. As we now take a look at Dima Thompson, who will be coming in on 14.25 minutes for his opening pass. And thanks once again, and the best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Dane.
Yeah, you crushed it. We'll look forward to seeing your trick later. All right, Dima Thompson coming in. This is 14 meters there, Tony. So we're getting down kind of, we're starting to see skiers start at the shorter rope length and start working through it. And Dima looking good here on his opening pass.
And son of a Hall of Famer in the form of Elena Thompson.
Yes, sir. And, you see that right there. Those genetics kind of coming in and, looking good there on the opening passes. We get a look at that. Our driver there, Scott Ellis, behind the wheel of that Ski Nautique. And, I know he always feels good. You always talk to a lot of the skiers. He always feels great. A bunch of people get really good scores behind him. So I bet these skiers are really excited to have Scott behind the wheel of the boat.
All right, yeah, just making sure that everything is neatly stacked over his feet with each of these turns, and just trying to put aside the nerves. And it's not the easiest thing to do, especially in the world's top tournament of the season, So I mean, you have to give it for these guys out there that are able to get past that and continue skiing.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right, Tony. When you come to the Worlds, it's really nerve-wracking because there's just all these skiers, and you've been training for it for basically the last 2 years, just looking forward to this event. And you get on the water, and the big thing is that first pass, you'll see several of these skiers will come out and just be a little bit shaky, because they're they're trying to get their nerves down, and Dima doing a good job there on the opening pass. So now hopefully he's got those nerves kicked back, and he'll be a little bit more into attack mode here for this 13-meter pass.
All right, then. Nerves in the rearview mirror now. 30 meters. Oh, getting a little twisted there off number 2. Now let's see if he can recover off this one. There he is off number 4. Good to go around number 5 and on 13 meters. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah, and I mean, you saw that little turn out of 2-ball that you pointed out, Tony. He has a tendency on that 2-4-6 side to really snatch that handle back into the inside hip, and that causes the ski to not go under the rope. So you see it kind of check up as he's moving his hands across his body, and that could come to play as the rope gets shorter and the boat starts kind of loading you sooner out of the buoy. But 1-3-5 side looks really good, and we'll see here on the replay. I can kind of show the people that are watching the replay here, but you see how the handle comes the outside hip, ski goes under the line, and then here it goes the inside hip, so you see that check up on the ski. So that's just something to watch out for as we roll him through the 12 meters.
All right, then, continuing on, Dima Thompson, who comes to us from Geneva in Switzerland, skis over at the Club Nautique Vassois, and along with other members of his family. I'm sure that we're seeing some Swiss support around about the dockside, one would hope, from the likes of the Wolfersbergs and at the very least watching here, right here on site. Here we go. This is Dima Thompson. Just trying to set his handle position before he goes into his gate glide, and now this is going to be 12 meters. This is the blue line. Oh, getting down a little bit low off number 1 as he crossed the wake. Getting even lower there off number 3. Gets around number 4 and to the wake. And looks like it's going to be under review. But from our perspective, our initial perspective, it looked like a 4.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see
what
they score him. But, again, had a little bit of loose line off of 1 and just, kind of started getting pulled down the lake and never could quite get back his angle. And we'll have to wait and see what the judges score him here. As we look here on the replay, I thought the gates were okay, but you see he kind of gets a little separated. So there's a little slack line there. He kind of eats it up, but then he gets pulled up going to 2. So now that causes him to run down course. And, now he's kind of into trouble here. So you see, doesn't quite get the ski to turn because he gets separated, and it looks like the judges say he was inside a 4-ball. So that's going to be a 3 at 12 meters there for Dima Thompson. And, it looks like he probably was wanting a little bit more out of that ski set and was hoping for a little bit more buoys there, possibly getting through that pass. But
all right, then. So as a result of that, we have our first tie of the event between Dima Thompson and Ryota Funo with 3 buoys on 12. So we're going to go into our very, very first leaderboard, our oh-so-early leaderboard with 4 skiers on it, and it will show us that Jakob Bonnier is in the lead with 3.5 on 10.75. A 2-way tie for second exists between Dima Thompson and Ryota Funo with 2 on 12, and Park Taigam from South Korea with 4.5 on 30 meters. There is your current leaderboard at this time.
Yeah, and I'm expecting you to say Jakob's name quite a bit for a little bit there, Tony.
We're gonna have to keep him there in the back of our minds a little bit, because we go through all of these series, and it's very, very easy to forget, that there is a skier that has gone out there and gotten more than halfway down 10.75 meters in the first series to get out onto the water.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be something we got to keep remembering that, because that was a huge score there from Jakob, and that's what we definitely, most people wouldn't expect that, but if you know Jakob, you definitely would be expecting him to get a big score like that. So good skiing out of him, and I look forward to seeing his name on top of the leaderboard for quite a while.
Yep, and we now move on to our first skier from Malaysia. It'll be Adam Yong Hanafa. 58K, 18.25 meters, skis out of the Putrajaya ski club over outside Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia.
right, this is 18 meters for Adam here coming through pass number 1. And looking nice and smooth as he's getting through this pass. And, again, doesn't look too nervous here, Tony. And that's what we like to see. We want to see, I think we had a couple big scores there from our first few skiers, and that should loosen up our skiers to come. They know everything's skiing good, and the boat feels nice, the lake feels good, the sun is out, and that should help these skiers, get rocking and rolling and feeling really nice as they start their campaign for this Open Worlds. Okay, our first skier in Series 9 is actually, according to the records that I have out in front of me, his only tournament exploration this season involves the tricks of any trick 5240 over at Junior Moomba in March earlier on this season. Hasn't skied much in tournament over the last couple of seasons. The highest slalom score that I found with his name associated with it is a 2-buoy count on 30 meters. And, if he can get a good hook up there on number 2 on 30 meters, then a lot of possibilities will come into play. But he's got to get there first, and he's got to do that starting with 16 meters for pass number 2. Yeah, and you see that big knee brace on his knee there, Tony. Maybe he's kind of battling a little bit of a knee injury. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him, but that could be why we haven't seen as many scores as we see our Japan supporters on the bank here. And here we go. We got Adam Jung-Hanifa coming in, pass number 2, 16 meters. And, looking nice and strong as he's making his way through this pass. A little bit of slack rope off of 2, so going to have to work a little bit through the back half of this pass, but managing it pretty well. And there you go. That's going to be 6 full buoys there at 16 meters. And I'm sure that the main patriarch of that young family, Hanifa, is watching from where he happens to be in Kuala Lumpur. All right, then. What news did you hear through your headset? Yeah, that was. It sounds like we might have a Water Ski Pro Tour stop there in Putrajaya next season. So we'll have to see if that comes to fruition. And I would love to tag along with you guys and go see Malaysia. I heard great things about the people that went for the Worlds. What's the slogan? Malaysia, simply Asia. Yeah, basically there. And I mean, it looked like a tons of fun. I know. My mom and sister had a blast when they went to Malaysia, and it's definitely somewhere on my bucket list of places that I would like to stop. So that would be awesome if we could get a pro tour stop there, and get us a really good reason to go see Malaysia and do some water skiing. Well, it's 7:30 in the evening there right now in a really, really humid tropical climate that is Kuala Lumpur at this time of year, or for most of the year. Kuala Lumpur sits almost smack bang on top of the equator, so their climate is pretty consistent year round. Here we go. This is Adam Jung-Hanifa, 14.25 minutes. And looked good up until the point where he raised the handle up on number 4, and that just drove him down course and was unable to get outside buoy number 5. He's a little bit agitated with that, but a 4-buoy count on 14.25 meters for Adam Jung-Hanifa. And let's see if we can figure out what happened to him there raising that handle up. I thought he looked pretty good here on the start. You see he keeps the handle nice and in, which is controlling the rope. Here off of 2, I thought he looked pretty good. A little bit down course there, so you see the boat starts to pull him up right there. So that's going to cause that ski to run, and he was trying to eat up rope and slam the turn, and just kind of got on the tail of the ski and couldn't quite get it back. And you see the little bit of the frustrations there. He was probably banking on at least getting to 13 meters. And you know what? From what I see of his slalom skiing, he certainly has potential, but I think he needs to kind of switch his mindset a little bit from a slalom skier who's looking to try and control speed by slowing down early rather than directing that speed out wide so that it can bleed off and keep a good tight line. Yeah, exactly. You see he pulls those arms in off the second wakes, which kind of slows him down, but then that stops your swing from in momentum going out to the buoy, and then he can't, he doesn't carry his speed through the turn, and then it catches him as he gets further down the course. So does a good job at 1, but then as he keeps, pulling on that rope, that ski quits swinging quite as well, and it starts to run with the boat, and you just see a little bit, taking too much speed down course and catching him out there at the end of that pass.
All right, there our oh-so early leaderboard continuing to show that Jakob Bonnier on 3.5 at 10.75 liters is your lead athlete at this time. We are just inside the start of Series 9, and our second skier to take to the water is another Japanese athlete. It'll be Joe Nakamura.
Yeah, and if he can do anything like his other Japanese counterpart, we're going to see a big set out of him, and we'd love to see, him be super stoked and coming back to the dock after at least tying a PB or possibly a PB. That would be absolutely huge for him. So we'll have to see if Joe can put it together here on his set here at the Open Worlds.
Well, so far as Joe Nakamura is concerned, you have to dig deep to find a slalom score for him, because he is primarily a jump specialist. Competed at the Junior Masters in Callaway Garden, Palm Mountain, Georgia, and actually jumped into the 50-meter range. And we look forward to seeing him do something along those lines, maybe a little bit further. But he is out there on the slalom course, and maybe chasing down a score that will put him into 12 meters. His personal best is half a buoy, and that was at the Japanese Nationals, not this season, but the seasons past.
Yeah, and had a little bit of too much speed there at the gate, Tony. Maybe some nerves getting to him, so we'll see if he can work his way through this pass. There you go. He manages it out now, and looks like he finds his feet. And that'll be a good 6 buoys there, 16 meters, and just a little shaky. Probably the nerves kind of getting to him. He is a younger competitor, and here at this big stage, you'll kind of see those nerves catch you out. But Joe doing a good job here of not stressing too much from not getting the start that he wanted, and then managing his way through that pass.
All right, then, and Joe Nakamura, not the first time that he's slalomed in a world championship. Recall last season he competed at the Junior Worlds at the Lakes of Cast in Stone in Predator Bay last season, and under those circumstances, got 4.5 on 13 meters, which didn't qualify him for the final, nor did his jump of 45.6, but he was able to trick in the final, having tricked a little over 4,800 points. So a well-rounded overall skier, but will want to try and make as much of an impact in the slalom event as he possibly can with the time that he has to work with.
Yeah, and I really enjoy seeing that we're getting more and more of these countries from Asia, bringing their skiers in, and they're getting experience in the worlds, and Joe's definitely got some experience on the world level, and you're starting to see it pay off, and he's been skiing really, really well. So let's see if he can put it together here for this 14-meter pass.
Here is Joe Nakamura, getting a little bogged down off number 1, and just a slow getting off number 2, but now he's starting to pick up the pace. He's actually starting to backside a lot of these turns now, which is a pretty neat thing to do.
Yeah, and on 16 meters you can kind of overski it. It's got a lot of rope, so you saw him kind of pull out a little hard and had a little bit too much speed. Did a little bit of the same thing there at 14, but got the ski to slow down a little bit better in his gate glide, and then that's why you saw him start really backsiding those buoys as we got further down the course.
All right, not looking bad here. Joe Nakamura is certainly one of our taller Japanese athletes out there on the water, and just basically facing down that number 2, and just squaring up a little taller into number 3, and skiing a little hunched over there on number 4, which works out fine for 14.25 minutes, but it's not going to help him all that much when it gets down to line lengths such as 12 meters, where being a little taller certainly helps.
Yeah, no, definitely. You want to see him use that height to his advantage. It really, being a tall skier really helps you, leverage behind the boat and generate your speed. So we'd like to see him, stay a little bit taller, not hunch over, and use that height to his advantage. But here we go. We're through the first 2 passes, 13 meters, Tony, and
13 meters. He's got to get after it here. He's got to be aggressive here right from the start. He can't afford to baby this pass. And he tries to do just that, but just a little bit too much.
Yeah, and you could kind of tell, Tony, when he turned in a little bit late for the gate and a little abrupt, and so it was a bit heavy. And then that causes you, when you go over to one, to be heavy there, and just a little too much there on one, can't hang on to it, and that's going to be a little bit less of a score than what he was looking for today. You see right there, he turned in really hard, and then that causes him to smack the turn here and drops that shoulder and pops the handle. So that's going to be a half at 13. That's definitely not what he was looking for, but good to see Joe here skiing, and I'm looking forward to getting him in the tricks and definitely seeing him out there on the jump skis. I know he's been having a really good season in the jump event.
All right, you are. So we'll see how the other events pale for him, but for Joe Nakamura, his time on the slalom course is done. And Joe Nakamura, he's currently in 5th place after 6 skiers right now. Skier about to take to the water will be Leonid Martinov of Ukraine.
Vince, I couldn't hear what happened.
All right, wearing bib 167, Leonid Martinov getting ready to go and just waiting for that Nautic boat to make its way back towards the dock.
All right, here we go. We're on to our next skier out of Ukraine there, Tony. He's a young skier here. We've been seeing him at the Youth Europeans, and he's been traveling around with Team Ukraine and looking pretty good. So we'll get him in here. I believe this is a 16-meter start.
Yeah, it is 16 meters. He's been traveling extensively throughout Europe, mainly in Austria. Skied in the under-21 Europeans. He got 3.5 on 14 meters, which is the next pass to come. On the tournament before, which was the youth Europeans, 2.5 on 30 meters there. So his slalom skiing's been a little bit up and down, so to speak.
Yeah, and I mean, a big shout out to his dad, Alexei Martinov. I know he's done a ton for water skiing in Ukraine, and it's good to see his son out here competing at these championships. And been having like you said, up and down season, but he's a really strong, solid skier, and it's good to get him here, get him some experience on the world's level, and he'll be a name that we'll be seeing for many, many years skiing for Team Ukraine.
All right, his best score this season, and he did this at the Vienna Slalom Cup in the second round. He got 4 on 12 meters, but that was at 55K. The minimum the minimum boat speed that you can have in these championships is 58K.
Yeah, and I know with things kind of going on with the situation in the world, I know that's that Vienna spot, that IWWC is where he normally trains. So got a big score at his home site. Let's see if he can get a big score here in Italy, though. This is 14 meters, and gets a pretty decent start here. Let's see if he can rock and roll through here. again, he's one of these skiers that's pretty used to skiing at 55, and you know, he's up in the boat speed and getting here to ski
in
with
deep
58.
there.
Yeah, a little bit deep out of 5-ball, but you know, he knew he only had to get over to 6 and did what he needed to get outside of it, and you know, now going to give himself a score at 13.
All right, pulls out and gets the cheers of his country folks from Ukraine. Always nice to have that level of support, no matter what your circumstances are.
Yeah, no, it's always great to be here. Have some support from the bank that just kind of helps you calm down when you know some people are rooting you on. And Lenoid doing a really good job here. Like I said, I thought the start was really, really good. Tony just got a little deep off a 5-ball, but you know, didn't let it bother him too much. Didn't pop the handle, and you know, now he gets a little bit of a reset down there by the start dock, and I guarantee you, Stephen Spock's on the dock, kind of giving him a little bit of pointers, just reminders of his keys, and you know, now he'll come in here and try to get him a big start here at 13. See if we can't get him through it here at 58.
All right, getting ready. Coming in for pass number 3. 13 meters now. Start is critical, but just as critical is this portion, the gate pullout.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to speed up right here. Loses a little bit as he turns in, but let's see if he can get a good one. There you go, gets a pretty decent one there, Tony.
Gets broken over there off number 1 into number 2, but he just didn't have enough steam there at the end. It's going to be 3 at 13 meters for Leonard Martinov, but decent skiing from him nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was pretty happy with that. Again, he's been skiing all season at 55, so you know, to get him a score here at 58 and to get through those first 2 passes. And I thought he comes to the gate. I thought he did okay here off of 1, but you'll see when he goes to 2, he lets that lead shoulder kind of roll up, and that causes him to run with the boat, and the ski didn't quite turn as hard and sharp as it did at 1-ball. And then same thing into 3. Now he's running with the boat and wasn't able to get over to 4. You know, kind of checks up there. So, you know, he's still happy with it. Got him a decent score there, 3 at 13 meters, and you know, good to see the young Ukrainian out here skiing today.
All right, not bad at all. As we work our way down this list, we've got another Ukrainian coming up. It'll be Ivan Zelentsov. And then we'll see a skier from Georgia.
All right, Navon's been having a pretty good season. I know I've seen him jump a couple of PBs at a couple of the other European championships. I know he's been running, you know, about 2 at 12 has kind of been his end point here. So looking to possibly get a PB in the slalom event and see if he can put it together as we bring Lenoid Martinov back down the lake, and we'll swing him in. You see Scott Ellis behind the wheel of that boat, and you know, he's pumping up the Ukrainian crowd on the bank, and it's great to see the youngster out here having fun at these World Championships, and you know, now sitting there trying to pump up his buddy on the dock, Ivan, and see if we can't get another, you know, good score here out of our next Ukrainian skier.
Or anything to waterskibroadcasting.com to go to. All right, then, here we go. Ivan Zelentsov. He's going to be coming in, I believe, on 16 meters for his opening pass. Boat roaring in towards the course, 58K. Let's see what he has. Entrance. pretty active with the extension going into the turn, especially into 135 there, Zane.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a really good trick skier, so he's kind of using that extension to really free up those hips, so he can use those hips to turn the ski. Not knocking him, but he's definitely not the tallest skier that we've seen today. So really got to be strong and active with his lower body to get the ski to turn, and so that's kind of what you're seeing there with that extension. He's really getting that handle level so that then when he slides, he can slide the hips through the turn and really get that ski to bite. So, did a good job there on that 16-meter pass, and now he's got to get through a couple more if he wants to, tie his season's best or possibly get a PB. But yeah, there you go. You see that extension there that really allows him to rotate those hips and get the ski to turn. And Yvonne doing a good job here on his opening pass.
Yeah, a little straight path there into, I believe, number 3, but not looking too bad for the most part. And we have about 50 seconds of drop time at each end, and 55 seconds of drop time, which is more than ample, and beautiful conditions here, it has to be said.
Yeah, no, I mean, the judges and the officials have done a good job about kind of finding that wait time to make sure that the water is nice and calm and smooth for all of these passes for our skiers. And, it's looked like really good skiing out there as we see Lenoid Martinoff, getting some congratulations from his fellow teammate Daniela Filchenko. And, now they'll be sitting on the bank rooting on their next skier, Yvonne Zelinstoff. So we'll see there. Oh, a little bit shaky off of one ball there. Tony almost popped the tail, but
he's still there, though.
Manages it off of 2 and 3, so now he's back kind of in it. He's a little down course, but it's okay. You can take the ski a little down course. Again, almost gets that ski to chatter around and pop out a 135. So that might be a little bit of that exaggeration on the extension that you were talking about, Tony. And you see that ski, he rotates those hips, but that ski starts to turn and it starts to bite. That nose starts to chatter on him, and doing a good job of staying over his feet. But as the rope gets shorter and that load gets sooner and harder off the buoy, that could be something to watch out. It might pop the ski out of the water.
Yep, he's got to exude some moniker of control out here as we got down really, really hard off buoy number 1.
Yeah, that ski almost came out of the water there, Tony. So that was really impressive for him to
good heads up skiing
to keep it in. And then there you see he's basically going into 3-ball, going, don't do that again. And then he comes into 5. I think he was a little bit more relaxed, and still you see it kind of starts to chatter on him. Not as bad as 1-ball, but. That was kind of a common theme there. You saw him checking at 3 to make sure it didn't happen, but then almost gets it to happen again at 5-ball.
Would you do more positional training to counteract that, or maybe make some adjustments to the ski?
I mean, to me, I think he was pushing on the tail of the ski a little bit more. I'd like to see him take the ski out a little bit more, and then that'll allow it to turn, more natural on the nose instead of kind of pushing the back end of it and making that ski chatter. But we'll see if he makes an adjustment here. I know Spock probably said something to him on the dock down there, so let's see what he's got here off of 1.
There's 1.
And that was much better there, the ski
There's
bit.
2. Oh, there we go. Look at this. Oh, a double pump there on number 3. Good to go around number 4. And you know what? He's got this.
Yeah, and I mean, you saw him, Tony. He got off the handle a touch early into 3-ball, so that's why you saw that double pump. He just let go of it real quick and, kind of came up short there at 3. But I definitely made an adjustment off of 1. You saw the ski, it bit, but it didn't chatter around the buoys, and that's really what we like to see. And good job there getting through 13 meters. So now we've been seeing a bunch of scores out of Yvonne into 12 meters. I know he's gotten to 2 a handful of times. He got it at
the Euro under 21s.
Yes, exactly. So we'd be looking to see him if he could get a really good 1, kind of like he did there, and then same 2, but right there you see he gets off the handle super early and comes up short there at 3. So he's going to be looking to try to take the handle out with him here at 12 meters and see if he can't get a better start there. But, good job making his way through this pass. And
got a top 10 overall position in last weekend's European U21. So combined is 2 at 12 meters with a 78.50 and a 52.1 meter jump.
Yeah, and that jump was a PB. I know. I mean, he PB'd at Open Europeans and then came back and did it again at the I think he PB'd at the Youth Europeans, then PB'd at the Open Europeans, and then did it again at the Under 21 Europeans. So he is he's crushing in the jump event. Let's see if he can get a PB here in the slalom event. A little slow at the gate, but
there's 1. If he can PB here, then he might have a chance of taking the lead. Oh, look at this. There's number 3. Oh, and he crashes into number 4. I tell you what, he certainly went down, but not without a fight, I tell you.
Yeah, and he's been taking a little bit of some notes from like John Travers and Adam Caldwell and some of the other pros, throwing that ski, doing that body slide, and doing his best impression of those guys. But he should be very happy with that. 3 hit 12. I think that's definitely a season's best, and that's a huge score there for Yvonne.
There we go. I believe it's going to be at least 3 on 12, but the score is under review. But we know it's at least 3. We want to see if that score actually made it outside of the buoy line for 4 before he.
And that would, if he could get the ski outside and get that quarter, that would keep him out of that tie that we've got from a couple of our skiers from Series 1.
So we've got 3. So we got.
So we see here it's a 3. It looks like he gets off the hand. Let's go of the handle a little bit too early. It doesn't get outside the buoy, and if he could have kept that handle in his hands just a little bit longer, I think he would have gotten that quarter of a buoy and kind of separated himself. But 3 at 12, and we are moving right along to our next skier, Tony.
From a skier who has a fairly light frame to one who is just absolutely Herculean. This is Gennady Gorelia.
Yeah, and I got the opportunity to go over to Jolly Ski yesterday, and he was driving me yesterday afternoon. I really enjoyed skiing with him, and I was really excited to see him get out here on the water. And there you go, making his way through his opening pass at 13 meters. So, great skiing. It's good to see the Georgian skier out here on the water.
And rocking that SP Bronco out there, or is it the Mustang? I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure, but it definitely the first SP ski we've seen today, and Gennady looking really good here, opening pass. I know he doesn't have any scores at 58 this season, so good to see him, getting out here and getting with the young guns, and there you go, making his way through that first pass, and we'll see if he can put it together here, as we shorten the rope up to 12.
Yep, 13 meters.
And I know
not our first skier to go in on that line length.
No, and I know he'll be excited too, because next weekend I'm pretty sure we've got a pro tournament in his home country of Georgia. So
yeah, that's the Republic of Georgia.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. For all our Americans that think we're talking about Georgia down south, we're not. It's the Republic of Georgia. I'm really looking forward to getting there and doing some skiing, doing some announcing with you, Tony, and.
And they're still taking entries for that event, as a matter of fact. If you go to waterskibroadcasting.com, you can get the complete skivvy on that.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the skiers that come, and it's a part of the Water Ski Pro Tour, so there's going to be some Pro Tour points up for grabs, and I think it's going to be a really fun tournament. I've heard only good things about the site, so looking forward to going there next weekend.
All right, here we go, folks. This is Gennady Gorelia, 12 meters, or a little slow off number 1. Look at him go round number 2. Oh, bouncing around off number 3. He won't give up without a fight. Look at him go. He's round number 5. Can he make it? Round number 6. Oh! There you go, 5, and he gives up the ghost on that one.
Yeah, and you just kind of saw him. He dumped his feet a little bit heavy into 3-ball and then started really running with the boat, and that's kind of what caught him out, not able to get all the way through that 12-meter pass, but you kind of pointed out Herculean style there, and sure enough, he was fighting for it. Wasn't going to stop until there was no more room, but went a little heavy at the gate, so you see the ski kind of chatter there. Did pretty good here off of 2. Gets off the handle a little early, but watch the feet here going to 3. See how quick it jumps on him, so that causes that ski to not really want to turn. Then he gets it to bite kind of late, and now he's down course, and just doing all he can, generating a lot of speed over the buoys. But here you see, again, off the handle early into 5, so not taking the rope all the way out, didn't have a tight line, and that's what causes him not to get the turn that he's looking for, and just squeaks inside a 6-ball at 12 meters.
And a skier who's only a few weeks away from obtaining Italian citizenship. He's been a resident of this part of the world for many, many years now, but he would hold a dual citizenship whenever he swears the oath at a ceremony to take place in San Gervasio.
Yeah, and congrats to him on being able to do that. I know he's a big part of that Jolly Ski School, and like I said, I enjoyed skiing with him yesterday, and You should go get a ski ride there and ski with him. He can teach you a few things. But we're moving right along to our next skier there, Tony.
This is Aiden Young-Hanifer on 16 meters. We saw Adam to begin this series on the same line length and managing to get 4 on the next pass afterwards. 14.25 meters. There will be next for Aiden Young-Hanifer. Time right now in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia is about 9 o'clock. Skier on the starting knock we just seen is as Denik Coleman Jr., who will be attempting to represent the Czech Republic as our next competitor, but this skier from Malaysia, who we understand is in the midst of trying to get all the resources together to put on a pro event next season in 2026 as part of the Water Ski Pro Tour, we believe.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we were talking about it a little earlier, Tony, but it would be really awesome to, it's great that Water Ski Pro Tour is just adding stops each year, and it's getting bigger, and, you're starting to see, we're getting more participants at the events, and, I'm really, really excited to, to see that Pro Tour had kind of disappeared, and it's picking back up, and we're getting back for, for our skiers that it works so hard to have something to do, and
it could open up the floodgates for a number of other events in that part of the world. I mean, like Thailand and South Korea and Japan. It's a largely untapped market for pro events, and if that can happen, the floodgates I anticipate will be opening for more events in Southeast Asia. Oh, and Aiden getting down, man alive, almost eating it into the wake.
Yeah,
from 5 to 6.
Left those feet behind him off a 5 ball, but did a good job. You start seeing him kind of pulling the rope, kind of pushing that ski in front of him, and he finally got it in front of him before he went out the front. So, good heads up skiing there from Aiden, and now you see he's looking at the dock and getting some some extra tips there from his support on the dock, and we'll see if we can clean up this next pass, which will be 13 meters.
Now, he hasn't slalomed all that much this season. I don't see much of a score at all for the season of 2025. But last season in the Malaysia Ski and Wake Championships at 58K, he got 4.5 on 60 meters. So he's already beyond that point. At the Junior Moomba, he was just a trick participant and trick 56.40 on that one. All right there, so this is Aiden Young-Hanifer, and I'm not too sure if this is his first ever attempt on 30 meters. It may appear to be so, especially at 58K. Here he comes, 30 meters for Aiden Young-Hanifer. All getting down low off number 1 and even lower off number 2. How is he able to pull this one out? Look at this. Round number 4. Aiden Young-Hanifer is just about to stroke 13 meters.
Tony, and he is excited. I mean, yeah, you saw he squatted off at 2, but then really did a good job going to 3, and then kind of set himself, got him some space and got through it. And there we go. We got a fist pump and a happy skier, and we'll take a look here at the replay, but you definitely called it there off a 2 ball. Got a little bit low, but see here, kind of has a loose line, but gets a pretty good pull on the boat. Now here's where he really squats. You see him, he needs to get them feet in front of him. How he managed to turn the ski here at 3, I don't know, but did a good job, carried his speed through it, and kept the rope tight, and that's what really got him through that, Tony. And there you go, checking up speed there on the 4, and now when he gets to 5, he knows he's got it. Just a big pull over there, and then we'll see that fist pump on the replay, which is what we like to see. And the World Championships, you want to see the skiers all be happy, and good skiing out of him.
And he might have just set the Malaysian slalom record there with that score into 30 meters. We'll probably get some kind of note or clarification on the live chat, which you're more than welcome to participate go onto the YouTube channel.
Let's see what he's got here at 12 meters, Tony. So got his speed up here. He's losing his speed there. So let's see what he can do off of one ball. Gets a pretty good one ball with the gate he had,
Look
Tony.
at that. He's round buoy number 2. Oh, and he's inside number 3. But 2 on 12 meters. Only 1 buoy shy of second place right now. So good skiing there from Aidan Young-Hanafer. And the score is under review to determine whether he actually made it outside number 3 or we'll have to make do with 2. A video replay official, Nikki Lee, looking at this one more time.
Yeah, and you see him just losing speed there at the gate, Tony. But does a really good job getting the ski to turn here off of 1, and then right here off of 2, you see he pulls a touch long, so that causes him to go a little bit long and have a little bit of slack line there, and then lets off the handle a little early there, doesn't get outside of 3. So that's going to be 2 at 12, but good skiing out of the Malaysian skier, and he'll be happy with that score.
All right, 2 on 12 meters. He will be as happy as a kid on Christmas.
Exactly. I mean, I'd be pumped too. And then, like I said, you touched on it, might be a Malaysian slalom record. We'll have to wait and get confirmation on that. But wouldn't that be huge to get that here at the World Championships? But great skiing there from him. And, Tony, I'm going to step away. I got a skier coming up. I got to go do my other duties, and I'll come back and join you a little later.
All right there. Rock on as we see Zdeněk Coleman Jr. from Czechia will start on 16 meters. I think he's the elder brother of Martin Coleman, the former world overall champion, and the World Championships in 2019 in Putrajaya in Malaysia. You see that little link there between this skier and the previous one. 1 or 2 degrees of separation there. As was his position into number 1. Just not getting much of the ski around off number 1, but it is 16 meters, so he can afford to make the odd error or 2, but he can't afford to be doing it consistently throughout his effort. So tremendous skiing there from Zdeněk Coleman Jr. He is our penultimate skier in Series 9. And we'll see our latest leaderboard to come up after we get done with our next skier, who is Orestes Vasidas. And he's the first off top of these World Championships. Look out, folks. We have got Zdeněk Coleman Jr. coming back in on 13 meters. I know he's a pretty talented skier, but much of that talent surrounds his efforts in the tricks event, not so much in slalom, but maybe he can prove me wrong here. This is 13 meters, a little bit flat-footing into number 1. His shoulders are a little down around number 2. He's getting further and further down course on this opt-up. He needs to run this pass, otherwise that pass is going to be a 5 buoy count on 14.25 meters. The final score for Zdeněk Coleman Jr. Opt-up comes with some degree of risk, and one of those risks is that if you do not make that pass, it'll be that buoy count on the previous line length, that you opted up through. Just not allowing the ski to do much of anything right now, just bouncing around all over the show from tip to tail. You can even see a little bit of vibration on the skier making his way into 3 and number 4. And by the time that all was said and done, he just didn't have what it would take in order for him to make the pass and get around 6 buoys to make that effort complete. So that is Zdeněk Coleman Jr. coming to us out of Czechia. And let's not forget, folks, we are very, very early into this competition. We're about half an hour in, or well over half an hour in. And our top score at the moment is 3.5 at 10.75, courtesy of Jakub Bonia. Orestes Visadis from Greece. And looking good. Not an especially difficult run. I believe that was 60 meters for him. $16 meters, he'll be coming back on 14, or may he opt up? I'm not sure. We'll find out in a moment. But Orestes Visadis opening up with 16 meters and making relatively light work of that run. Although he did let himself go down course a couple of times, which may have been a cause for concern, but he has a good handle on that effort. Orestes Visadis. So, in recent times, his best score has been 4 on 13 meters. That would appear to be his top score of the season. He competed for that score. He competed at the tournament in Kaiafa, which is in Western Peloponnesia in Greece. It's hosted a water ski tour stop or two in years past, and we hope to return there in the future. But in the meantime, let's see what Orestes Visadis. Whoa, getting in a little bit deep there off number 2 into 3, and unfortunately way too deep for him to handle. So it looks like it is going to be a 3 buoy count. 3 buoy count there on 14.25 meters to round off the efforts in Series 9. Orestes Visadis of Greece. And that handle really, really close to his body, and only just before he turns the ski to the entrance gates does he extend it out and provide some kind of a pivot point for him to get the ski angled off and around. And because of that, he let himself down course, and whenever he started to loading up against the boat, just didn't have enough turn out of that ski to form a block, so to speak. You can definitely see what his tactic was. It was more about speed control rather than allowing the ski to cast out wide so he can bleed off the speed more effectively that way. So that was 3, and he goes whizzing past number 4. So 3 buoy count on 14.25 meters. So let's have a look. Jakub Bonia in the lead, 3.5 at 10.75 meters from men's series 10. Gennady Gorelia, 5 on 12. Two-way tie for third. Ryuta Funo and Dima Thompson with 3 on 12. Ivan Zelentsov and Dima Thompson with 3 on 12 as well. So we've got 3 skiers tying with 3. 6th place, Aidan Young-Hanifer, 2 on 12, and you can see the rest of the results by going to the IWSF results service. Just do a quick Google search, just type in IWSF results, and that will lead you to the spot where you need to be. All right then, folks, we will have more continuing live and exclusive coverage here on TWBC for the 2025 IWWF Open World Water Ski Championships. And when we return, we will be back. Only this time, it'll be Open Men's Series 9. We'll be back with that right after this. right, our boat making its way back towards the starting dock. This is going to be Men's Slalom Series 8. We've already had Series 10 and Series 9. 13 skiers there, and now we have 9 more. We've got Alexander Menzel. We've got Yoho Kim. We've got Oscar Domino. We've got Nino Ferrangius from Lebanon. We've got Tom Parkin of Great Britain. Minko Kim from South Korea. Albert Gross from Germany. Then followed by Vincent Ahama of Austria and Nikolaus Vasidis. All right, as we go through each series, we are on Series 8. We're going to do this series in Series 7 before we shut up shop for the day. But it's only going to get more intense with the next few days. We've got some great events coming up. Glenn Martin is our boat driver this time around. We switched out the crew, and here we go. Alexander Menzel. He competed at the Open Europeans and scored 4.5 on 30 meters for his efforts. From Germany, Alex Menzel. He's also competed at the German Open Championships, and he also competed at the World University Championships. He actually skis for the University of Clemson in South Carolina as part of their collegiate team. And certainly the Tigers of Clemson are certainly grateful of having a skier of this quality, considering that they are one of the many NCWSA teams that recruit without the benefit of having an athletic scholarship tied to their team membership. So one would assume there that Alexander Menzel, apart from his time out in the water, would definitely be in Clemson more for academic reasons than anything else. But and Alexander Menzel certainly has a good grip on the competition, and he uses Pro Gear gloves. So check out progear.com, skiprogear.com. I beg your pardon, to find out more. In the meantime, we have Alexander Menzel. He's gone through 16 and 14. Or he's about to. Loading up well off number 5 and on 14.25 meters now. Exhibiting a little bit of technique that's not too far removed from cable slalom. You could definitely tell when you're watching a cable slalom skier, because they tend to carry the handle a little bit further into the edge change, and actually in a lot of cases the skier would tend to naturally gravitate towards a two-handed turn rather than a one-handed extension. Cable slalom skiing has a requirement of the slalom skier, not so much a rules requirement by any stretch of the imagination, but whenever you're slaloming on cable, you've got to carry that handle with you, because the pull from the cable is always with you. You have absolutely no release on that into the pre-turn. And then he just barrels in off number 4 and into number 5, and shoulder charges a little bit, which is also a little element that is a telltale sign of a cable slalomer. All right then, folks, beating his chest a little bit here. Let's see what he's got. He's gone through 16 and 14. He's still got a ways to go before he gets anywhere close to the lead or even in the top 3. This is 13 meters. Trying to bring the handle slowly across here. He's round number 3. He's good to go round number 4. Oh, and he's late for 4 and had to rush that turn to get the ski round. But looks like it is going to be 3 1/2 on 13 meters. 3 1/2 on 13 meters as far as I can see from this vantage point. And that's a score that belongs to Alexander Menzel. Alexander Menzel, age 25, studies at the University of Clemson in South Carolina. So looking good up to a certain point, and I think if he'd only had that turn back, he would have done things a little bit differently. So a beautiful lake facility here in Rocchetto, the national training site of the Federazione Italiano Surfing, Wakeboard and Water Skiing Federation. There's coming to us from the Piemonte region and the province of Novara. There's still some practice going on lake number 3 as we continue to rock our way through this event. Next competitor up, representing South Korea, Yun-Hoo Kim. So Yun-Hoo Kim, don't have too much of a read of him so far as his results are concerned. All I can tell you is that as far back as 2023, he skied in the Swiss Spring Classic and got 4.5 on 12 meters there. That's probably a good portion of the reason why he's in Series 8 instead of Series 10. Yun-Hoo Kim on 16 meters. Not getting much out of this pass, I do have to say, but he gets the job done, and just using that one as a feeler for the conditions and what he can expect to go forward. So Yun-Hoo Kim. I don't know where specifically he comes from Korea. Probably very close to the nation's capital of Seoul. All right, as we look down towards the dock and see our next skier, it's Oscar Domino from Denmark. Just looking at his technique right now, there's number 1 and 2, and he's halfway down course. He's a little bit of a slide down course off number 4, and he's able to make some ground off number 5, and he manages to get the ski round number 6. So great skiing there from him. So some good skiing all the way around there for Yun-Hoo Kim. So just looking at this pass again, and he seemed to have a pretty good handle on it. And anyone who can run into 12 meters is has certainly got a good talent for slalom. So his best this season, able to dig a little bit deeper into the archives of the International Water Skiing Wakeboard Federation's EMS database, and found out that he's gotten 2 on 12 in the past. But working that handle, extremely high off number 4, but he's able to get around number 5, and oh my word, he gets around number 6. He is through the exit gates. Fantastic effort there. 16, 14, and 13. Back to back to back. Certainly pulled out a little early and had to work extremely hard with the edge change to get that ski extended out nice and wide. So he's had a pretty successful season so far, especially in the IWWF Asian water skiing wake sports championships with 2 on 12 meters earlier on in the season. So let's see what he's got. Glenn Martin doing a fine job at the wheel. He's about to mash the throttle down, and the boat will now accelerate up to 36 miles an hour, or 58K. Coming to us from Rocchetto in the region of Piemonte in Italy. This is Yunho Kim. Yunho Kim, there we go. Round number 2. Can he make it round number 3? Yes, he can. Can he S-turn it? Oh, and looks like the maximum he's going to get for that score is going to be 2.5 on 12 meters. But that score should put him in about the top 5 right now. And a lot to be impressed with here, Glenn.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Tony. Welcome along, water ski fans. He got a little bit discombobulated here out of 2 ball though, and was stretched for 3. Geez, I've got to say, Tony, how excited I am to be here. If I start to sound a bit tired, throw some water on my face, because I think I've been awake for over 40 hours now. So yeah, thanks, mate. Just don't break Vinny's gear by throwing water on that. But yeah, it's a long way from where I live in the northern part of New Zealand to Rocchetto here in Italy, but I'm so excited to be here. Just got in this morning. World Championships.
I was kind of wondering why you weren't here early, but I'm glad that you're here now.
Yeah, unfortunately I got a real job, which is, I need to do something about that, get rid of the real job, I think.
All right then, so good to have you here, Glenn. I'm Tony Lightfoot. He is Glenn Williams. He comes to us from New Zealand. And he's traveled almost completely around the world to be with us here at Rocchetto. And here he comes in on 14.25 meters. This is Denmark's Oscar Domino.
Yeah, 14.25, of course, the yellow shortening. Must admit, I haven't seen a lot of Oscar skiing in recent times as he makes his way down this opening pass on the 14.25 meter line. I see a good shot there of Glenn Martin, arguably the Southern Hemisphere's #1 boat driver. He's driven a number of world championships now.
So a varied international panel being present at this event, as we see Nino Farianos of Lebanon, our sole representative from that Eastern Mediterranean nation. And Oscar Domino has had a pretty decent season so far. I mean, he's competed at the European U21 Championships. Scored 3 on 12 meters there. and backed it up with results in Denmark and the Open European Championships, and didn't do especially well at the Open Europeans, but in the World Championships he scored a 3 on 12 in the under 21. So his season's been fairly consistent with one or two anomalies there. But let's see what Oscar Domino can do here. He went in on 60 meters. This, I believe, is 14.
Okay, apologies there. I thought he started at 14. No, it is 13. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Oh, geez, breaks forward on one a bit though. He's in trouble early on here. Comes out of 2. Maybe getting back on this now. After a poor start on 1, he seems like he's got it under control now on the 13-meter line.
All right, then. Fantastic effort there from Oscar Domino. He started on 14. That was 13. We're in bib 81. Let's see if he can make a little bit of an impact on the next pass, which should be 12 meters coming right up.
Yeah, one of the exciting things about these lower series of slalom, Tony, I always enjoy it, Worlds, is we get some skiers that we don't normally get to see on a slalom ski. Some of the world's best jumpers, some of the world's best trick skiers that at a normal pro event you wouldn't see them on a slalom ski, but they're out there doing it really for team scores, I think, mainly. The likes of we've got Matthias Gonzalez a little bit later on. Jack Critchley's going to slalom later on this evening. So there's a long list. Maybe even Felipe Miranda, I think I may have seen on the running order. Yeah.
Yep. Your eyes don't deceive you.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's exciting. Although, of course, Felipe, former world overall champion, so I shouldn't be discounting his slalom prowess. But it's a good afternoon, the first few seeds of men's slalom.
All right, here we go. Coming in, this is Oscar Domino of Denmark. Now, he hasn't gone into 11.25 meters all season. Now is the time. Let's see what he's got. 12 meters. Little slow off number 1. He's round number 2. He's trying to maintain good posture here. And I tell you what, he's not looking too bad here. He gets round 5 and he takes that pass. 12 meters, yeah!
He's pretty happy too.
All right.
Doesn't look like a pass that he runs all that often, Tony, the way he ran. He ran that. He was kind of not looking super comfortable, but he just hung in there through that whole pass. Didn't panic. Made sure he was still on top of the ski, because what do they say? No rope, no hope. Once you lose that handle, there's no way of running it. And it's good to see some excitement here early on, some happy skiers in Series 8 of men's slalom.
Yeah, but not looking too bad out there. Oscar Domino delivering a great slalom performance out there instead of delivering pizzas.
I like what you did there, because obviously we're in Italy, Domino, yeah, that's it. And also the birthplace of pizzas, you'd have to say, here in Italy. So Tony's pulling out all the big ones early.
We're trying to. And there is coach there, Zane Nicholson. He's happy too. And that's a PB for him as well.
Cool. That's really
so
cool.
This is his first excursion into 11.25 meters. Now, he has a second place position in the bag right now. Now, how long he will stay in second for? Well, we won't be able to tell you at this point. But and he blows the fin out. But combination of a little bit of disappointment that he didn't get to the wake after number 1. But he does have a new personal best, and he should be happy with that.
Well, you see that a lot, don't you, Tony? Once you get to the 11.25 at 38 off, it's actually the rope is shorter there than the distance from the boat out to the buoy. So he just wasn't really wide enough here. It's unknown territory for him. First time ever on the 11.25 in a tournament.
And he just went for the line just too early at the tail end of that turn, and just the ski tail just blew out. And the gate shot itself wasn't all that bad. He tried to hold his width and good extension, but then tried to get back onto the handle too soon before the ski had a chance to fully turn and get cross course. But there you go. There's Oscar Domino.
I need to be careful here, because I don't want people to start to think that I know what I'm talking about with slalom, but he really didn't keep moving, did he? He just sort of stood there and waited for one
Yeah.
which is pretty fatal once you get down to that 11.25 or shorter.
Yeah, it's like approaching a roundabout, really. I mean, you don't want to try and hit the roundabout straight on. You know, you want to try and curve out a little bit and then just use a more natural turn.
Yeah, I found that. I picked up the rental car this morning, driving on the right-hand side of the road, which I haven't done since the last Worlds, actually, in Orlando. And you just, there are lots of roundabouts here in Italy, and I think I did okay first up effort.
All right, then, 60 meters for our sole representative from Lebanon. It's Nino Ferranios. And I do have to make a confession. I've not seen this skier compete all that much in recent times, but it's good to see some representation from across the world, especially from a country who has some kind of heritage within the sport of water skiing. I mean, you'd have to go back into the 1940s, early part of the 1950s, to see a skier by the name of Simon Curry, who actually won quite a few world titles in that early stage of development for tournament water skiing.
Absolutely, and Lebanon, of course, is part of the Asian Water Ski Confederation, I believe, and Oceania, which is New Zealand and Australia, are essentially the Oceania Confederation. We used to have our championships with Asia, and I can remember back probably only about 13, 14 years ago, we actually had a Lebanese skier win those Asian Oceania, win that slalom title. That was up in Korea and Seoul. And I can't remember his name. It's possible it could be the same skier, but I would be making things up if I pretended that I knew. But it is one of the really neat things, I think, Tony, about this, the lower seeds of slalom at a World Champs, is you get a great mixture of different countries out there competing.
Okay, and Nino actually is not the first time that his family has represented Lebanon. He has a brother, a Tariq, who has proudly worn the colours of Lebanon in the previous World Championships as well. Thanks to Eric Bakos for that little snippet of information, as I'm sure that he, we see him get through 14.25 meters without too much effort there.
Yeah, nice pass.
Yeah, it looked like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I'd say just runs a 14.25, a short now to the 13-metre line, the green shortening. Great to see that Nautique towboat out there, the official sponsor of the IWWF, official major sponsor of the IWWF. Of course, the new model out this year. We're not using that new model at these World Champs. We're using the same model we've had since, I think, around 2019. But really good tournament towboats, and great shot of the boat as it comes down the lake here at Rechido. And
the perennial towboat for the annual Moomba Masters as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Moomba's just signed up another 10 years, I think, just this year. Another 10 years with Nautique.
That's nice. That's good to have that kind of consistency.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So Nino Ferranios of Lebanon. And certainly a country that hasn't been without its challenges in recent years, with local strife and conflict being an ever-present thing going on in Lebanon right now. But out of all of that, here is Nino Ferranios. Look at him go. There's one and number two. And I tell you what, he's keeping a good, calm position, and it's actually helping him out a whole bunch there. On 13 meters, now he's going to have a pop at 12.
Yeah, he's happy. Little half fist pump there at the end. I think he's happy with the way he's skiing out here this afternoon. A lot of pressure on these guys. I mean, they know in all likelihood they're not going to make it through to the slalom final. So it's their one shot, really. Their one ski at a World Championships. Only happens every 2 years. And he would have trained hard. He knows the conditions are good, the boat's good, and he wants to get as big a score as he can. But, you know, it would be nervous times. He looks like he's got a fair bit of experience, but I'm sure he's out there desperately wanting to do his best. And so far, so good, though, as he completes that 13-metre pass.
But getting a performance of this type would certainly makes that Prosecco and risotto go down a lot nicer. So we got Nino Ferranios hopefully I pronounced his name right. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, left, right, and center. But his best this season, or actually his best last season, he doesn't have a score this season, is 2 on 12 meters, as far down as I'm looking down his results from last season. And then before that, his only other score dated back to 2006. So the only read that we've been able to get from him was from 2024. Let's see what he can do on 12 meters for what is, in all actuality, his season's best score. There's one getting broken over and inside buoy number 2.
Yeah, a bit of slack rope out of 1, wasn't there? And as you said, broke at the waist. So 1 on the 12-metre line. I'd love to know where they train in Lebanon.
Probably Cyprus.
Okay.
Okay, so he got a piece of number 2, so 1 1/2 there is going to be the score. Let's have a look at this again, Glenn.
You're just leading with that right-hand shoulder there a little bit into the buoy, coming in with a bit much speed. Not a great 1 ball. Yep. Round 2. Didn't put a huge amount of effort into getting back to the wake before the next set of boat boys there. I don't know. I guess there was not much difference between a score of 1.5 or 2 for him, but quite sure here. I'm thinking, though, Tony, if I'm at a World Champs and skiing, I'm going to have a crack at getting back to those boat boys, back to the wake before the boat boys, but he was happy enough with 1.5. Well, speaking of super talented jumpers and overall skiers and skiers that we find slaloming here this afternoon, I think we now have Luca Rockenfeld from Austria.
Not quite.
Not
no,
quite?
This is Tom Parkin.
Oh, geez, sorry. Similar looking guys, but...
Yeah. Yeah, probably in looks, but
I have seen
in height, it's there's a big disparity.
There is, yeah. So apologies there.
No worries. Here we go. This is Tom Parkin coming to us from Great Britain, who's skied quite a bit this season, especially in the U21s. World Championships over in Canada, the Europeans over at IWWC, the International Wiener Wasser Ski Club. And he gets through the opening pass, I believe, on 16 meters.
Yeah, nice pass there.
All right, there. So our reporter on the ground here, we've got Zane Nicholson. 2 tidbits of information. One, that score from Oscar Domino is a new personal best, and secondly, that score from Aidan Young-Hanafer is a new national men's slalom record for Malaysia.
Oh, well done.
So already breaking records and setting new personal bests, left, right, and centre, Glenn. And we're not even 30 skiers deep into this World Championship.
Well, we know it's one of the best ski sites in the world, and obviously everything's set in readiness. These guys have done a lot of training, looking to peak this week or this weekend for this event.
All right, then, and Tom Parkin out there on the water, competed at the British Youth Nationals, got 3 on 12 meters in that instance. Didn't do so well at the European U21s, but at the World Championships, he got half on 12. So you kind of get a sense of where his upper limits are so far this season there, Glenn.
Yeah, here's the 14.25. Too many problems there on the 14.25, the yellow shortening.
No, it's not too bad there.
You remember Tom as a junior, kind of 6-7 years ago, as a maybe a 14-year-old, 13, 14-year-old, very good young jumper.
Still is a good jumper.
Yeah, I know he's a good jumper, but back when he was sort of 13, 14, he was jumping up in the low to mid-40s. Very capable junior.
So currently age 20, which means that he'll probably have one more season in U21s next year. Won't be eligible for the next U21 World Championships, which we do know are actually going to be held in Peru. in 2 years' time. And Junior World Championships, the next cycle is going to be in Argentina in late March, early April. So a lot of events that are in the immediate horizon.
Kind of starts off a bit of a series of world events too, at a different time of year, Tony, because we've got the Under-17 Worlds in Argentina, which are at the end of March next year. The Peruvian Under-21 Worlds, I'm not sure when they'll be, but quite often they run their Worlds in January. Yeah, in January. And then, of course, the next Open Worlds, the edition that we're watching now, will be in Australia, and I think they'll be late February. So we're going to go through a bit of a run of Worlds that really suit the Southern Hemisphere rather than Northern Hemisphere for a change.
Yeah. And there we go. That is Tom Parkin getting through pass number 3. He's gone through 16, 14. That was 30. Now he's going to eye up 12. And, it just takes one decent gate shot, to set himself up for a good one and maybe good number 2. And if he gets that situated, then he only has to hold that. I say only has to hold that rhythm two more times, and then you might end up a slalom in a PB. But not looking too bad here on 13 meters. Working the handle nicely, just not getting himself into too deep of a trouble on the turns. And taking a bit of a hit there off number 3 into 4. But so far, so good. And this is Tom Parkin. A little bit late and a little narrow into number 6, but he has that under full control. Glenn Martin at the wheel.
Yeah, one of the best boat drivers in the world. Arguably the Southern Hemisphere's best boat driver, because the chief boat driver at the Moomba Masters, probably for the last 5 or 6 years. Very accomplished 3-event boat driver. Here we go now with the 12-metre line for Tom Parkin.
There you go. That's Tom Parkin. Oh, and he just blows the tail on number 2, and he gets 1 1/2 buoys for that effort, which replicates the score of Nino from Lebanon. Nino for Anios. So 1 1/2 on 12 meters. So we've got about 4 more skiers to go before we round off this series, and then we'll have another 8 or so before we round off today's action by way of Series 7. Now, for those of you that are kind of wondering a little bit as to where our schedule takes us, over the next few days, I'll be more than happy to share that information with you. Tomorrow being Wednesday, we're going to continue on with slalom with Series 6, 5, and 4. Then we'll start off the first series of women's slalom, starting off with Series 6 all the way down to 4. Then we'll have tricks from Series 6 to 4 in the open men's. And then right after that, we'll have the opening ceremony in downtown Navarra.
We look forward to that. Beautiful conditions here at the moment. There's some talk that we might get a little bit of weather come through on Thursday or Friday. We'll wait and see, though. A little bit of rain.
Yeah, there is a little concern about that, but we can only control what we can control. So far as that is concerned, we're going to try and run these events as efficiently as possible, making sure that they're all on time, so that it builds up a little bit of room in the schedule, so that if there is that risk of a weather present, then we've got a little bit more room to work with. So there we go. Skier on the water. Almost forgot to tell you who he is. Minkyu Kim from Korea. Don't have too much of a read on him so far as his personal best is concerned, but that's why I've got my little tablet here, and I'll pick up on that. But what has really impressed me with our Southeast Asian competitors is their ability to adapt and to really work hard, and it's really showing in their technique out there.
Yeah. Sometime with that, the Asians, obviously, they love the jump event, and just lately they've produced some magnificent trick skiers. Slalom probably has maybe been the weaker of their three events. When it comes to, I think part of that is some of the sites that they ski on in Asia, Tony, that it can be a little bit tough to slalom on. And I know that when they get here, you'll see quite a few PBs at a World Championships. Normally, when you get to a site like this here in Italy, which is all but perfect for slalom skiing, you start to see quite a few. We already saw a record, of course, a Malaysian national record from, was it Aiden or Adam?
Aiden.
Aiden Hannaford Jung this morning, or this afternoon. So Minkyu Kim now. This is the 13-metre line. Across the 5-ball. Yeah, no problems at all. Probably a little bit late at times here, but he had it always under control. He was never in doubt of not running that 13-metre pass.
All right, absolutely. Looking in fine shape. Just trying to get you some more information on him if I can find it, and I think I have it. I have it. So this season, competing in the Asia Championships in Thailand, he got, this is tasty, 1.5 on 12 meters, and he's gotten half at 11.25 meters at the KWWA Water Ski Championship in June of this year. So we have a highly capable slalomer on our hands, but it's up to him to really fully grasp the opportunity that's presenting himself now.
He's on the 12-metre now. So you say you got 1.5 12 at the Asian Champs. Well, I saw some footage from those Asian Champs. The conditions were not very good at all for slalom. So if he was able to score 1.5 at 12 there, I'm sure that he can run this pass out here in these conditions in Italy. So let's see how he goes now. 12-metre line.
All right. Oh, getting in a little bit deep here off one or two of those buoys. This is 12 meters now.
He's fighting hard, though. He's hanging in
fighting. And that is what's keeping him in the pass. There's number 5. Can he make it round number 6? Yes, he can! Look at that! Fantastic! He had to fight his way through that pass, and he is duly rewarded.
Took a big hit there, didn't he, on the exit gates? A lot of slack, but there's no way he was letting that go. He gripped tight on the handle and runs that 12-metre pass. That's great skiing. See the team support down there on the banks.
So fantastic effort all the way through. I mean, there's no two ways about it. This guy is absolutely on fire. Kim Minkyu, or Minkyu Kim as he is better known as. 1.5 on 11.25 meters. Now, 12 meters he was able to get away with some of this stuff. 11.25 meters, not so much. Let's see if he can pull everything together. He clearly gets around number 6, and he certainly knows how to suck up the line, doesn't he?
Sure does. It's a good score. So we reckon his best this season is maybe 1.5 on this pass, Tony. I think you just read out. So,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So let's see if he can't at least equal or maybe better that personal best for the year.
All right, there. Here comes Minkyu Kim. There's one. Oh, round number 2. He's gone number
stuff.
2, and a season's best for him from Korea. That is Minkyu Kim, and that puts him in second place.
Magnificent skiing. He actually looks a little disappointed, though. I'm interested to see there after that. He was actually looking or hoping for more. I mean, all skiers are always hoping for more, but that's a season best there at 2 on the 11. To do it on the big stage here at the World Champs is great stuff from Minkyu Kim.
Fantastic skiing, and certainly one of South Korea's best slalomers out there, probably the best one out of their lot here in these championships. Handle up high, a little high-sided there, managing to get the ski round number 2, knew the gig was up, and knew that the best that he could achieve there was 2. But I tell you what, some great fighting spirit there on 12 meters the pass before, and that led him to a season's best score, and that is about as good as you can hope for, really.
Yeah, tremendous effort.
Yep, we're having fun here right now as we now get ready for Albert Gross. Albert Gross from Germany.
Yeah, not a skier I've seen a lot of, Tony, over the last few years. You might have to fill me in
Yep.
on what he's been up to.
I'll be more than happy to. His score last weekend in the European Under-21 Championships, 3.5 on 12 meters, which is his season's best. Age 20, and not looking too bad.
That was a nice opening pass there, very comfortable. Probably the best opening pass I've seen for a little while.
Yeah, very, very comfortable there. This is 14.25 meters to open up with, and I know, Glenn, that you've already 16 meters, and I know that you yourself, Glenn, are a subscriber to the TWBC YouTube channel, aren't you?
Absolutely.
You have the advantage of being able to comment on the live chat, and you might want to answer maybe a few questions there on the live chat. If you want to forward a question for my good friend here, Mr. Glenn Williams, who comes to us from New Zealand, he'll be in a good position to answer them with the YouTube live chat, and I might even answer a question or two and try and get the conversation going. We've got Peter James here again behind Tom Parkin, a few skiers back. A couple of Koreans there that have commented as well, and we have a whole slew of comments, including a few getting behind the exploits of our Lebanese skier and also our Danish athlete in the form of Oscar Domino. Here we go. Who do we have here? Albert Gross.
Yeah, well, he looked really good on his opening pass to 16. Now we've got the 14.25. He's getting it done. He's got a best in the mid sort of 12-meter range.
Yeah,
so
looking capable.
Yeah, that's a good pass there, the 14.25.
Quite a tall skier, which always helps in slalom.
What about we got the watch party feature on for this World Championships? I saw that was a new thing. I think I noticed for the first time at the Under-21.
Yeah, I believe we'll invoke the watch party. Yeah, that's
probably a little bit early, I guess, on the first day, but that was interesting.
It's never too early.
Never too early.
Yeah, we can get the global watch party, the global World Championship watch party going on right here. Go waterskibroadcasting.com/watch party, or you can click on the QR code, which I'm sure will be coming up soon. There you go, right on cue there. Thanks, Vince. There we go. Scan that QR code and send us your photo of your watch party. You got to love that.
Yep, all the innovations.
There's a lot you can do with QR codes these days. I mean, it's just amazing. You send your photos to a watch party. You know, get on a plane, even do your washing. I'm not kidding. All right, here we go. Albert Gross.
13-meter line now. The green shortening. Start dock end.
Not bad though. Good extension there around number 3, but he manages to stay in this. But getting on the back of the ski a little early on some of these turns and not looking bad. It's Albert Gross of Germany.
Bobbled a bit on 3, didn't he? He looked like he'd hit some a shimmer in the water, but there is no shimmer in the water. There's no washback here. But
there's just enough texture there just to prevent that reflection in the water.
Oh, it's nice. I think a lot of skiers probably prefer to ski. Watch this one. There's a bit of a bobble here, a bit of a skip of the ski. He got away with it. A lot of skiers prefer to ski with just a little bit of a ripple rather than glass calm.
So here we go. That is Albert Gross of Germany.
It's kind of like the afternoon. I mean, I've only been in Italy for 10 hours in my entire life, but it's kind of like a bit of an afternoon sea breeze here, and it looks great.
What does that jet lag feel like?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine at the moment. I just haven't slept for 2 days, so I'll have a good sleep.
Just haven't slept for 2 days. Okay, we see Vincent Ahama on the starting dock, representing Austria. And we'll see what he has in store for us shortly. In the meantime, Albert Gross.
12-metre line. Jeez, he's all over the shop here at the moment.
Oh, look at this. He's still there. He sets himself up well. Oh, look at this. He's getting better with each buoy.
Come on, run
Come on, get after it. Go on.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's really good. Put your hands together.
There you go. Fantastic.
He started that pass all over the shop out there. He had no right to run that pass, but he managed to just sort of push and prod and scramble his way through the pass. And there he is on the big stage at the World Champs running the 12-metre line.
There you go. Fantastic. That is his season's best score. His season's best score. Good total there. So, I tell you what, the open men, the skiers that will be coming up in Series 3, 2, and 1 have got a lot to take on board. You know, I mean, at this rate, you know, with
everyone's out of PB now. So
yeah,
far,
pretty much.
Pretty much. Very entertaining pass. This.
Goom. Oh, almost head-butted himself. Fantastic skiing there for Albert Gross from Germany. There we go. The triple beep from the zero off inside that Nautic towboat, indicating that the boat is ready. The skier should be too. And now accelerating up to the slalom course. We're in bib 116. This is Albert Gross.
11.25 metre line now. Not too bad to start on one. Round 2.
The possibility is there. Look at him go.
Great score. Great score. 2.5 at 11, I think. Got to be close to PB.
That probably is, in all actuality, is PB. 2.5 on 11.25 metres.
He's happy.
That should vault him directly into second place right now. And still out in the lead is Jakob Bonja with his score of 3.5 at 10.75 metres. Out of Series 10, we are on Series 8 right now. And we've got 2 more skiers in Series 8 before we go into Series 7. And then once we end Series 7, we'll also end the day's action. In this, the 2025 IWWF World Water Ski Championship, coming to you live from Rocchetto in Italy. Albert Gross with a season's best and probably a personal best. That is a skier from Germany, Albert Gross, with 2.5 on 11.25 meters. Not hard to be impressed here.
That's a good score. It's someone that doesn't look like he gets into the 11.25 all that often. To get more than 1 is a good effort, and to get 2.5 is a really good effort. Well done to the young German.
There he is, right there, sitting pretty there. The second place, Albert Gross from Germany. Yeah, looks like he got a little bit of a stinger from the handle, you know, but... We'll have a look at this again. And, he fell on that handle. You see there the delay in that handle coming out. It's something that I've seen on a couple of occasions before. And one other skier on the list has actually had that happen to him a few days ago. I won't identify the skier or anything like that, but he knows of whom I speak. All right there, so coming up, this is our penultimate skier in Men's Series 8 from Österreich. This is Vincent Ahama.
$14.25 to start. the young Austrian. So we had the pleasure of hosting the University World Championships back home there in New Zealand, in Auckland. And Austria, of course, won the teams event at those World Championships, their first ever World Championship teams victory.
Yes, indeed. And our skier out there on the water, Vincent Ahama, who competed at the European U21s last week, got 5.5 on 12 meters there, just short of making it into the runoff for a chance of making it through to the slalom final. He tricked 71.30, and he got a personal best in jump last week with a 59.8 meter jump. And the way that the jumping is looking right now, with the conditions that we have here and the wonderful ramp and the strong boat, you know, it's not totally out of the realms of possibility for this second generational international competitor capability in the form of Vincent Ahama to actually do that kind of thing again right here.
Absolutely.
Now you may remember back in the days of old, in the 1980s, early part of the 1990s, you probably heard of the Austrian skier Carla Armour back in those days, and this is his son.
Excellent. Plenty of father-son combinations over the years, and World Water Ski Championships.
Here we go.
Very much a family sport.
Let's see what Vincent Ahama does. 13 meters, starting on 14. Rearing up a little bit on number 2. Just trying to get settled in here and not trying to move around too much around the buoys if it's not entirely necessary to do so, but managing to get the job done. We're in bib 30. It is Vincent Ahama.
He ran that pass pretty early, really, Tony. There's no real issues there.
Yeah, not looking bad at all for the most part.
Yeah, good tight turns, waiting for the buoy. Great start there on 1.
All right, not looking bad at all for the most part. So Vincent Ahama. See if I can dig some information here on him. Competed at the World U21 Championships up in the Lakes of Castonstone in Canada. Competed in the Youth Nationals as recently as this season. He did pretty well in that. Let's see what he's got. This is Vincent Ahama.
Yeah, slight tail breeze, but not much in it.
Oh,
not a good start on
not
1.
the best of starts. An inside buoy number 2, and it can happen that quickly, folks. 1 on 12 meters.
Oh, disappointing. Absolutely butchered 1 ball. I was just saying there's a slight tail breeze from that start talk in, but it really isn't enough to make any difference. Maybe a slight adjustment to the pull out to your gates, but this is not what he wanted. This young Austrian comes into 1 ball there. This kind of leaves a ski behind him a bit there. That's disappointing.
Yep, absolutely. Unfortunate there for Vincent Ahama. He was on a good run there with the opening couple of passes of 14 and 13 and showed every indication of pushing it a little bit further, but not today, unfortunately.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction here, Tony. You said he had a PB of 59.8 metres at a tournament a wee while ago. I think he's going to make up for that slalom result by jumping 60 metres here in these World Championships for the first time.
Yep, there are very few competitors that are capable of being beaten if they're coming into this event angry.
I wonder if that works in the trick event. It kind of works in
not so much in the tricks.
If
it came down to just 1 pass and that 1 pass being hands, maybe.
True.
But jumping is just one of those things that if you have enough adrenaline, you can make up enough distance.
So I know we're in the slalom here. We shouldn't talk too much about jump, Tony, but it's my first time here to Riccido, to this site, but of course, the famous sight at the 2010 Under-17 World Champs with that great jump by Tim Bradstreet from Australia. That's, for me anyway, it's one of the most watched YouTube videos from back in the day. I think he went 60 metres at those Junior World Champs.
59.8.
Yeah, okay, well, I round them. I give a bit of GST on there. We have GST in New Zealand and Australia. But, yeah, it's good to finally be here live on the banks.
And do you know where that ramp is? The one that he...
presuming that it's not here, we've got a new ramp here now, do we?
No, that ramp actually got sold to the IWWC in Vienna, Austria. It's over at that site, and they used that ramp last week at the European U21 Championships, and it was that ramp that Vincent Ahama actually used to actually create that new personal best of 59.8.
And go exactly the same distance as the great Timmy Bradstreet.
Absolutely.
Well, there we have some good history there. Jeez, Tony.
I try.
You know so much.
I try. Nikolaos Vasidis from Greece, our final skier to take to the water in Series 8. We have one more series of skiers to go, and that will consist of nine slalom athletes. But until we get to that point, we're still on Series 8, 14.25 meters. And getting into a little bit of difficulty right off the bat there, Glenn.
Yeah, he's going to be okay, though. This is opening pass, so he's got plenty of time out there. Main thing, he needs to just make sure he doesn't fall off, which he didn't. And he runs that first pass, but you're right, it wasn't a great start.
So these World Championships, typically 12 skiers makes it through to the 12 skiers make it through to the slalom final. So once we do get to the leaderboard, we can start telling the good folks there what the cut is. It's only going to get higher between now and towards Series 2 and Series 1, but it would be interesting to see if maybe that this is the highest cut that we have from being this early on in the slalom series.
It's hard to know, Tony. I mean, over the years, you quite often have a skier that skis in the first series off the dock that because of injury or some other commitments has not skied many tournaments, and you quite often get a really big score on the first day. It's been a while, though. Yeah, we see Freddie Winter back there just chilling. Just chilling.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to stay there until slalom takes place on Saturday.
Good to see him here on site early to soak up a bit of the action with these lower series of slalom skiers.
Here we are, Nikolaos Vasidis.
Yep, this is 13 metre. He's getting it done. Not the greatest of passes, but
whoa!
Geez,
he's
I don't know if he's a little nervous or maybe something's going on out there, but he's certainly making hard work of it.
Yeah.
You kind of think as as parents and family and that maybe here on site watching. But it's one of those ones as a ski parent, if you're at home watching on a webcast, you almost want to look away, don't you? Second pass, a pass that he'd be very disappointed if he didn't run, and he's kind of bobbling all over the show here.
Yep, all over the show. Handle up high, and he just didn't look at all settled here on this pass.
No, he got it done. 6 boys is the score on the 13, so he shortens now to the 12-metre line.
And for those of you that are hearing a slight little rumble in the background every so often, we're actually located a few meters away from the Milan to Torino high-speed railway line that serves the Frecce Rossa, the Red Arrow, as it were, and takes less than an hour to get from Milan to Torino that way.
That's interesting, because I did actually wonder. I was walking along and next thing the ground started shaking. I thought we had an earthquake, but that explains that one, Tony. Thank you.
Not a problem. Nikolaos Vasidis. Oh, he's still there. I don't know how it was still there, but that was 12 meters, and that was a score of 3 to to conclude Series 8 in the men's slalom competition. And we've got a fuel break to come up, so we'll be taking a break shortly. But as I said here, Glenn, just not at all settled down here, and that didn't exactly improve on 12 meters there for him.
He never quite looked settled out there, did he? It's 3 at 12. Yeah, he's going to be a little disappointed with that score, I think. So we go from Series 8 to 7, but we do have a refuel, I think, of the boat.
Yes, sir, we do need to put fuel in the boat. That boat doesn't run on rainbows and unicorns, and so every so often we have to do fill it up, but it won't take us that long to do. And 3 buoys there on 12, and these get transported towards the dock. So before we take that little bit of a break, why don't we take a look at the that slalom leaderboard as he gets sent back to the dock. Jakob Bonja in the lead with 3.5 at 10.75 meters. Albert Gross with 2.5 on 11.25 meters. Minkyu Kim with 2 on 11. Oscar Domino with his new personal best with half on 11.25 meters, and Gennady Goredia with 5 on 12. And you can see the remainder of the results by utilizing the results service, IWWF results. Google that, and it will take you to the link you need to be on. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Do return. This is the continuing coverage of the 2025 IWWF World Water Ski Championship, and when we return, we will be on our final series of the day. It'll be men's slalom, Series 7, coming right at you next.
See you in Vienna.
At Houston Cadillac, at the moment you arrive, you will notice dedication to excellence. We deliver an unparalleled customer experience, and we're elevating our commitment with a new state-of-the-art facility. Explore our selection of new Cadillac cars, crossovers, and SUVs designed to meet your needs. We are redefining the luxury experience and investing in the future. Visit Houston Cadillac and begin your journey towards luxury.
At Dillinger Insurance, we have over 50 different carriers to shop your home, auto, and recreational vehicle insurance needs. We would love the opportunity to save you money. We insure million-dollar mansions, condos, mobile homes, rental homes, and everything in between. We know all about wind inspections, 4-point inspections, and how to get you the right coverage for your particular home. You've got questions, we've got answers. Can you remember the last time you had a rate decrease with your auto insurance? Let's take a look and see what we can do. We know all the ins and outs of getting our customers the best rates, coverages, and discounts, so put us to the test.
Don't monkey around with your insurance. Call Dillinger Insurance today. We've got tons of companies to help find you the best prices and the best coverage for your particular needs on home and auto insurance. Go Knights!
My name is Thibaut Dalen, and I'm the broker of Dalen Real Estate. And today, I want to show you some of our special listings located in Florida's world-famous water ski hotspots.
I'm Martin Coleman. I would like to invite you to the 2026 World Junior Championships here at Ahumada Ski School in Villa Dolores, Argentina. 15 días acá y 16 asados.
When I left the dock, there was no doubt in my mind I was going to win.
Number 4 needs a ball when he gets off. Side flips around 2, Wade moves into the lead, and Wade Cobb gets a monstrous turn at 4 and hangs on around 6. First time today.
Wade, you made it exciting once again.
Slingshotting himself around 1, and that's
large. He's here, the foot's up in front.
Wow, this is like my dream come true. Which one of the men is going to end up in this exact spot?
Masterline, made in the USA.
All right, then. Welcome back to live and continuing coverage of the 2025 IWWF World Open Water Ski Championships, coming to you from Richeto in the region of Piedmont, and the province of Navarra. And we've got our leaderboard right here. Jacobonia with 3.5 or 10.75 meters. Your outright lead right now, ahead of Albert Gross with 2.5 at 11.25 meters, and Minkyu Kim with 2 on 11. So a varied array of nations participating so far in these championships, and that extends on from Series 8 on to Series 7 right now, where we will see Ales Poliador. Then we've got Callan Ashcroft. He'll be next off the dock. Then we've got Jack Critchley. Then Lucas Obilad from, I believe, Morocco. Then we've got Carter Lucas from Canada. Paolo Pagozzi from the Dominican Republic, Luca Rockenwald of Austria, Frick School from the Netherlands, and our final skier of the day is going to be Matias Gonzalez.
A few household names in this Series 7 of Slalom. Some known for jump, some known for overall, some known for tricks. And it's good to see how they're having some fun on the slalom ski. And I guess they're all probably members of their national team, so looking to get as many points as possible for their respective teams.
So Alice Poliador from Czechia will be our first competitor out. Competed at the Euro U21s, and he scored a 2. He scored a 2 so far this season. Actually backs it up with a 3, and I think he actually got 4.5 at some stage at the Euro Youth Championships in Sasania. So his best score of the season is actually around 4.5, 5 buoys there on 12 meters. He started off well this season, but he struggled a little bit of late. Let's see if he can pull off a better than average score here, Glenn.
Yeah, well, he started out his run the 16-metre line, which I replay at the moment. Very much a warm-up pass for him. He wasn't super early out there, but he didn't really need to be. He was just making sure he collected all 6 buoys. Wind has maybe just swung a little bit to more of a kind of a crosswind, which means because the banks are so high here and there's some really nice trees, it's kind of glassed off a little bit out there for these guys. We did have sort of a head-tail situation there with the tailwind from the start dock, but I think it's calmed off. See our first Australian competitor at these World Championships on the dock, Callan Ashcroft. He'll be up second.
All right, let's see what we got here. This is Alice Poliador. 14.25 minutes. Oh, getting a little bit overloaded off number 2.
Yeah, comfortable enough in the end, though. As you said, Tony, struggled a bit on 2, but then he sort of got into his work. The rest of the pass was very, very comfortable. And shortened on to the green shortening, 13-metre line.
Yep, keeping things in order.
Black Magic records really, really good. Yeah. And the price, I think, is not.
So looking all right there off the first couple of runs there, just to get settled in. 1 pass in each direction. He's going to have a crack on 30 meters coming up next, and the transition between 14 and 13. I mean, when you attempt it for the first few times, it definitely feels like you're being tossed into another world of slalom skiing. But for someone who's experienced as this, Alice Poliador from Czechia, we'll see how far he can get on 12 meters, having gotten through these passes. Actually, 13 meters is next. Subscribe to the TWBC YouTube channel. Live chat permissions await you, and also notifications as to the next live event. Next live event after these championships is the Poti Pro over in the Republic of Georgia, starting next week and brought to you exclusively live on TWBC. 30 meters for Alice Poliador.
Getting it done a little down course, but he's comfortable enough as he heads around 6 ball and runs that 13-metre pass. So you're off to Georgia.
Yep, Republic of Georgia.
Yeah, Republic of Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the Georgia that has Atlanta and all.
No, I figured that, Tony. Yeah. Yep, I figured that.
There are some folks out there that...
yeah, is that the first pro event there in Georgia?
First pro event, yes. First event ever to take place in Georgia, no, because you can go back to 1995 and they had the European Championships there.
Well, there we go, Tony, the Encyclopedia of Water Skiing comes up with another one. So that's so the European Champs there in 95, but the first ever pro event in the country of Georgia.
Yeah, the Republic. Yep.
Well, the Republic of Georgia, yeah. Without being rude to my American friends, I would suggest there's quite a few Americans that don't realise there is actually a country called Georgia. They probably, like you said, Tony.
Yeah,
they think it's all just a state.
That's the reason for the disambiguation.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right then, so let's continue on, shall we? On the water at this time is Ales Poliador, and he's gotten through 13. Now let's see if he can get through 12. He needs a good gate glide, and he gets it. Look at him go into number 1. Gets a good handle on that one. Gets nicely done round number 2. His best of the season is 4.5. And look at him go. I tell you what, he's got the bit between his teeth, and look at him go. He gets round all 6, and he is absolutely as happy as Gilligan out there.
I reckon that was his best pass, Tony. I think he
was
the most comfortable at 12 over, all the longer ropes. He seemed to be struggling a little bit, and 12 he really got into his work, and that was a nice pass.
Yeah, pleased as punch out there, no worries.
And the way he threw the fist, it's got to be close to a personal best, I would think.
Probably. I haven't seen any scores here for anything.
Possibly takes the award for the baggiest ski shorts so far. You see them catching a bit of wind out there.
Maybe we can start with a few obscure award categories going forward, including best abs. I've seen a few 6 and 8 packs around here.
I'm just working on the keg.
Yeah, exactly. You, me, both.
Oh, he's happy, though. That's what I like to see. There's a lot of pressure on these young guys here at the Worlds. And to get up there, look at that. It's good to see. Runs a 12-metre line.
Right, you are.
Here we go, 11.25 metre line for the start dock in.
All right, 11.25. Let's see what he has. If he can get into good rhythm, then a lot of things open up. Here we go. There's 1. Barrels in for number 2. He gets around number 2. To the wakes, he has 2.
Yeah, I'd say that's a PB, the way he's pumping the fist out there, which is great to see. Another personal best here in these early elimination rounds at the World Champs.
Be interesting to see what the leaderboard looks like right now. So there we go. Ales Poliador from Czechia. So great skiing there from him. No two ways about it. That 12-meter pass is about as good as you can get, from a stylistic point of view, and the effort was certainly there. And he just hasn't had that many sets on 11.25 meters. He's been concentrating on getting through 12 with varying degrees of success. But the one time where everything comes together right is the time right here that he runs the 12-meter run at the World Championships. So there we go. Poliador with 2 on 11.25 meters into a multiple way tie for 3rd. Ales Poliador from Czechia. Now you see a great shot off the bow. And believe me when I say that by the time it comes round to the slalom finals on Sunday, those banks will be packed.
Absolutely. We're in for a good weekend. Of course, it's only Tuesday afternoon here at the moment, and we run right through to Sunday evening.
All right, and our next skier to take to the water, someone from your general area of the world. It's going to be an Australian, and it is going to be Callan Ashcroft.
Yeah, shout out to all the Aussie fans that have got up early, very early doors in Australia at the moment to watch this webcast. There's a few Aussies here on site. Callan, very strong 3-event skier. Strong jumper, good trick skier. He's actually a bit of an all-rounder. He competed at the Ski Show World Champs as well.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's the world champion.
Does a full front flip off jump ski, on the jump skis, off the jump ramp. It's something to see, to be fair.
He produces what is known as the discombobulator.
Yeah.
All right. The time in Eastern Australia is about halfway after midnight, 12:30 midnight, going into Wednesday. If you're watching us from Perth in Western Australia, it's about 2 hours earlier. And you're watching one of your own, Callan Ashcroft, getting the job done with his opening pass.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad time to watch actually in Perth in Western Australia. It's probably only 9:30 in the evening there, so not sure if the great Ryan Green is tuning in to watch this or not. But not a great start here from Callan, I've got to say. He's pretty laid-back sort of a character. I thought he was just a little bit too laid-back here on one ball. He's lucky that it was his first pass because he had plenty of time.
He's been basing himself over at Bennett's Water Ski School in Zachary, Louisiana for the last few months, and he's been competing in the 3 event tournaments and also some show ski events over in the Midwest. Actually holds a dual citizenship. He's an Australian through and through, but he also has a U.S. citizenship as well through, I think, through his mom.
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm.
And his mum was a great show skier too, world champion or close to it in the show skiing back in the day. So very talented family.
Mm-hmm. Big shout out to his mom, who I'm sure is watching. And if you are indeed watching, why not shoot us a message on the live chat? All you have to do is subscribe to the TWBC YouTube channel to facilitate that kind of privilege to do so. And here we go, Callan Ashcroft, 13 meters, started on 14.
Yep. Comes out of 2.
Ooh, getting a little bit late down course. He's going to have to work this out. Round number 4. And a little bit of heart palpitations there for Callan Ashcroft, and that was 13 meters. But
Yeah, but he kind of skis. Like, I don't think he was ever really worried out there. It's kind of the way he's skiing. He's pretty laid back, Tony.
Not with that head shake.
No, you're right. He was a little disappointed, but he just kind of. It's like he's almost forgetting to turn sometimes out of these boys, especially 2-ball. But 2-ball on both passes, he's been quite slow to turn.
Yeah, but getting a little bit on the back of the ski off number 1 and just trying his best just to stay with the run on that Connolly slalom ski.
He was in all sorts of trouble here, but he did start to scramble here now, and he made up some time. So he's getting it done. 6 boys in the book.
Just barrels into number 6 there, just enough to get that ski round, and that was 13. And we're on to 12 meters now. Let's see what Callan Ashcroft can conjure up there.
You're right, he doesn't, for someone who's normally fairly happy and joking around, Callan, he looks pretty serious out there at the moment. He's a little concerned with his form on his first couple of passes. Let's hope he can get it together here on this 3rd pass.
He is a member of Team Australia, by the way, so he's trying to put some points on the board early for the ski route.
This is looking a lot better than his first couple of passes. A little bit late out of 4, but he's around 5.
Just
that's
collapsed.
Disappointing. He'd done enough to run that pass. He really had. He'd done some good work early on in the pass. Good, better start on 1. And he should have really completed that pass, Tony. I think he'd be a little bit disappointed. 4.5 on the 12.
Yeah, absolutely right there. I mean, everything looked pretty set. He was in his best form right up until the time that he decided to let things go a little bit there on that run. So Callan Ashcroft, so far as his best performances of the season go, not too much to tell us by way of being a slalom talent out there, but his best slalom this season, this past April, was 2 on 11.25 meters. So he was definitely capable of running this pass, but he's been a little inconsistent this season on slalom, but a lot of that was due to the fact that he was probably concentrating more upon his jumping ability rather than his overall package.
And he's busy too, isn't he? Like, he's got his show skiing as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, sometimes I wonder if he forget what he's doing. You know, like, I don't know, this is a bit tongue in cheek, of course, but you know, do you still throw a flip on this next one? Oh, no, that's right, I'm slaloming again.
All right, then. So our next competitor up from the old country, from Great Britain, and it is going to be Jack Critchley.
Predominantly known as a jumper, of course, I think he's currently ranked either maybe number 4 in the world in men's jump. So a very good shot at getting on the podium at this World Championships, Jack Critchley in the jump event. But I think he enjoys the slalom. He probably spends a lot of time there skiing with Kyle Eade at Ski Fluid, and he probably maybe once or twice a week would get out the slalom ski and go out and have a bit of fun. And I guess here predominantly he's skiing to get some backup points for Great Britain.
All right, then. So Jack Critchley, who's had a rather complicated relationship with the World Championships. You can cast your mind back to 2019, and you remember that because
I remember that
you were there.
I was commentating. Yeah, we won't talk about that. This is Jack Critchley slaloming now, which is always entertaining. And it's the 14.25.
But there you go. It's the 6 buoy count on the opening pass, 14.25 minutes, and I'm sure he's been picking up some tips on how to slalom from his fiancée,
right.
Regina Jaquist.
Yeah, engaged to the world record holder, of course. Does a lot of slaloming too with the Eade boys, of course, Damien and Jaden. So
over at Fluid.
Yeah, who I'm not sure might be tuning in. I guess it's a school day for these guys over there. And
they'll tune in.
Tune in whilst being at school. Not entirely sure what time it is in Florida. I'm thinking about lunchtime, but
in around Leesburg right now, it's about 10:30 in the morning.
Okay, so it's not quite lunch.
There you go. Well, mid-morning snack maybe. Grab yourself some Doritos chips there from the vending machine.
I'd say Kyle's probably just having a second breakfast. Maybe sent someone to McDonald's to get 4 or 5 hash browns. Get him through the day.
I've always found those hash browns to be a little bit greasy for my liking.
Oh, they're terrible, especially.
Good thing
But
Ronald isn't around.
I must admit I have eaten a few in my time.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, so here we go. Let's bring on Jack Critchley from Great Britain. He's starting on 14. This is now 13 meters. Nice gate glide, and notice he's running on a very similar ski to Regina, the good carbon fiber slalom ski, and managing to make some good inroads here.
Yeah, it's a nice pass. He dropped the shoulder a bit on one ball, but not really in too much danger there as he completes that 13-meter line.
All right. So not a bad effort there.
So if you had asked me before he left the dock what I thought he would score, I pick him to be around a 2 at 11 type man, a scorer of maybe 2 at 11. So he's got to run this next pass and come back and get a couple if he's going to go with what I'm predicting. You see the Aussie team there with Callan.
Now, Jack Critchley, so far as his slalom is concerned, I mean, he doesn't slalom nearly as much as he jumps, but he has put some scores out into 11.25 minutes. So he's a capable athlete in that regard. I mean, when you go back to April, so far as this season goes, he got 3.5 on 11.25 meters towards the end of that month over at the Ski Fluid Classic. But pretty much every score that I'm trying to pull up here for Jack Critchley is all about the jump event. And I mean, so far as his personal best goes, I think the best score that I've seen him produce is 4.5 on 11 on a season-ending tournament in the 2024 season. So certainly capable.
He certainly is. Here we go, 12-meter line now, Jack Critchley. It'd be highly unusual for Great Britain to use his slalom score, but you never know. It's always good to have a backup score. It's a good start on 1. 12-meter line. Across to 3. Oh, big 3 ball. On time for 4. He's nice actually across to 5. There you go. That's a pretty nice 12-meter pass, Tony.
Nicely done. Excellent skiing there from Jack Critchley. And obviously selecting Jack Critchley as a member of the British team with an eye for getting a decent backup score early in this this competition. I mean, whenever your country has the likes of Joel Poland and Freddie Winter and Will Asher and Rob Hazelwood and Aaron Davies, I mean, your choices are endless here.
Yeah, but of course with the team, you can only put 4 men in the team.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm not even sure. I'm presuming Jack Critchley's in the British team. You'd think so because of his jumping, but
he is.
Yeah, okay. I should be careful what I say without actually looking at the teams, but I'm glad I've got you next to me, Tony. He's researched it all.
Mm-hmm. All right, wearing bib 106. There we go. That is Jack Critchley. He's gotten through 14, 13, and 12. Let's see what he does on 11.25 meters. Lucas Obilade from the Kingdom of Morocco about to take to the water.
Okay, let's see if he can get the 2 that I've predicted, or if he can stretch out and get it the 3.5 that he did in April at the Ski Fluid tournament.
Here we go. Entrance number 1, 11. Oh, handle up high, but he can still do this. He's round number 2, but unfortunately not the best of starts, and getting 2 buoys at 11.
Solid score though. I think Team GB would be saying job well done by Jack. It's highly unlikely that they would need a slalom score, but if they have a few mishaps, you never know. It's a good solid backup score.
That's right.
For Team Great Britain.
All right, slipping into the water and getting 2 buoys at 11.25 meters and thanking the boat driver at the same time, which is always nice. He just wheelies up there on number 1, but he had the good presence of mind to know that he could still get outside number 2, skied for that, and concludes his run in that fashion. We'll have a look at this once again. This will give us a closer forensic type look as to his turn on number 1. Oh, hello. Handle up high. The ski turns, but not much else does. All right, so that's Jack Critchley. All right there. And our next competitor to go. This is the first time that I've seen this slalom skier, but not the first time that I've seen a skier from the Kingdom of Morocco. This is Lucas Obilade.
You'd have to say Moroccan water skiing, or particularly the slalom event in Morocco, is on the rise. We see a pro event there now, of course.
Yep, the Royal Nautique Pro that's staged over in the nation's capital of Rabat now. And Camille Bamra and his father helped to put that event together, and pleased to say that that event will continue next season.
It's great news.
Yeah.
So I presume Camille is slaloming a little bit later on in this event, or is he injured, or?
I'm not sure. Not sure, if I'm being honest. I'll need to look.
Check that out.
Look down the list. But Camille Obilade at the moment representing the kingdom.
But good on Moroccan water skiing. Continuing the development.
Yeah. And skiing on an SP, a slalom ski. So Moroccan taking in Cypriot technology. It's good to see that the manufacturing of water skis exists in more diverse nations, including Cyprus. Skier about to take to the water is Carter Lucas, an individual skier from Canada.
Okay, 13-metre line now. Glassy calm out there. Breeze has sort of disappeared, or maybe just swung a little bit.
Just trying to keep the tip of the ski down in the water long enough for it to turn and rotate. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Slicing and dicing. I like that run.
Yep, no problem whatsoever for the young Moroccan skier.
All right, let's see if I can get a little bit more of a read here on his ability and what we're dealing with here a little bit. Age 22. And skied primarily in France, which is probably why we haven't heard too much about him this season. His best score is a 1 on 11.25 meters, and he's had a smattering of scores anywhere from about 1 on 30 meters all the way up to 1 on 12 meters, which has mostly been his average during the course of the season. So our skier on the water, Lucas Obelade from the Kingdom of Morocco. And we will see what he has coming right up. All right, up and at 'em, folks.
Yep, from the start dock end. At the 12-metre line now. Lucas out of Morocco. Oh, no. Pops the handle out of 3-ball, I think it was. He was getting a little bit late, but he certainly had the pass under control.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. And then he went for the big Hail Mary turn on 3-ball. Couldn't quite hang on to it, unfortunately. The trouble is, I think Tony said his PB's 1 at 11, so 12 for him is probably not a pass he runs all the time. It's probably a pass he runs maybe 60 or 70% of the time, I'm guessing. Or
Yeah,
maybe in half the time.
consistency issues.
Yeah, so he knows that he has to really stay on it. He can't afford to have a... So he thought, geez, I'm starting to get a little bit late here on 3. I need a big 3-ball, and fortunately just couldn't hang on to it.
All right there. So Lucas Obelade with 2.5 on 12 meters, 2.5 on 12 meters. And gotten round number 2 and just a little bit delayed here and continuing to roll. And unfortunately, just a little bit too late at the end. So as he swims into water, let's take a look at that leaderboard on the left-hand side. There we go. That's Jakob Bonja with 3.5 at 10.75 meters. Albert Gross with 2 on 11. And Kim there with 2 on 11.25 meters, which I think is tied a number of different ways. So that's what we've got here. That score from Kim is also been tied by Jack Critchley and Alice Poliador. So
yeah, it's a very common score.
Yeah,
we'll see a lot of 2 at 11s, and then later on we'll see a lot of 2 at 10.75s, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get into our top couple of series, we'll see a lot of 2 at 10.25s.
Yeah.
And whether 2 is enough to make it through to the final, it probably won't be if conditions are like this. But yeah, you'll see a lot of 3s if it's good conditions to get through to the final.
Well, I mean, as I typically do here at the World Championship side, I mean, I entertain like questions about who do you think's going to win, and what's your prediction, and all that kind of stuff. And I tell them I can't predict for you the winner. What I can predict for you is that there's going to be a multiple way runoff, maybe for 6 for 2, something like that,
Absolutely. I'm sure there'll be runoffs in the slalom, both the men's and the women's.
Anything to avoid the main question. All right, then. So
you're a braver man than me if you can pick who's going to win men's slalom at these Worlds.
All right, then. We've got Carter Lucas on the water right now.
Yeah, out of Canada, of course. His dad, Norm, on site. And Carter runs that opening pass. If I was to pick, I'd say his main event's probably jump. Loves the jump event. Goes to school. Is it down in Louisiana?
Yes, actually. He's a member of the Louisiana Warhawks, I believe.
Yeah. So he'll be skiing as an independent, I believe. I don't think he'd be part of the Canadian team, such as the strength of the Canadian team. Good to see he and his family have made their way out here to Italy for these World Champs. I don't know if there's any New Zealanders watching back home, but many of you who are involved in skiing in the late 90s probably remember Carter's father, Norm, spent a summer out there coaching and driving the boat and skiing in New Zealand.
All right, just pulling up a little bit of information here on Carter Lucas. Originally a skier out of Saskatoon, which is a province up in Canada.
Okay, here's Carter now. This is 13-metre line. A little bit down course here, but I still think he's on comfortable here. He's round 5. He kind of, to me, it looks like he slaloms. He looks like he's a really good jumper when you watch him slalom. And I don't quite know how to exactly describe what I mean, but he's, you can see that real low, that's low centre of gravity strength he's got. He's quite a strong guy, and it definitely suits him in the jump event, but he doesn't quite get it together on the slalom.
All right then. So far as his his slalom ability is concerned, he gets a smattering of 4.5s and 5s on 12 meters, and gets the odd excursion into 11.25 meters. His personal best, at least from what I'm gathering from here, is a 2 buoy count on 11.25 meters. He did that at the Saskatchewan Provincial Ranking List Tournament. But you are right, his true abilities lie in the jump event, where he's been able to jump over 62 meters in recent times.
Yeah, and I think you heard me earlier on commenting when Jack Critchley was skiing that Kyle Lee's probably on a second breakfast. I've just heard from Kyle, who's enjoying the commentary, but he's working so hard today that he actually hasn't even had his first breakfast, Tony. So shout out poor Kyle. And maybe that has something to do with the fact that Jack Critchley is here on holiday in Italy and not helping Kyle out at Fluid this week.
So you're telling me that besides coaching out there at Ski Fluid, Jack Critchley has to make his breakfast?
Wow, there's been having spent a little bit of time there is, and we're just watching a good pass there from Carter as he runs that pass. Watch the replay.
I know they work him hard at Ski Fluid, but that's a little ridiculous.
I think what happens is whoever does the gas run goes to the service station to get the petrol for the boat. It's a requirement they stop by McDonald's and get Kyle 4 or 5 hash browns. And maybe he hasn't got Jack there to do that at the moment, I'm not sure. But anyway, back to the water skiing.
Yeah. Here we go, on the water. Carter Lucas getting the job done, pass number 3, wearing bib number 51.
That was a nice pass. I think probably his best pass, actually, of the 3. It was like he knew it had got harder now, that the rope had got shorter, and he needed to just get stuck into it, and he did.
All right, coming to us out of Saskatchewan, home of the Riders in the CFL. And getting ready for Carter Lucas to come back in on pass number 4. He's run 14 and 13. That was 12, I believe. And let's see what he has in store for us coming up right now. If he can get a good start,
not bad,
then it can get interesting. But unfortunately, that interest only extends so far, and it gets.
That's a solid score, though. I think you'll be reasonably happy with that.
2 at 11.
Yeah.
Where we heard that one before.
Yeah.
He ties with about three other competitors on the list. Carter Lucas with 2 on 11.25 meters, currently in a 4-way tie for third place with Jack Critchley, Kim Minkyu, and Alice Poliador. So looking at this, decent setup there, planting that ski in the water, but unfortunately taking in a little bit too much speed at the same time, and just couldn't really get in a good enough position to stay with the run. So There we go. He gives us his thumbs up. He knows that that's probably one of his better scores of the season, so probably doesn't expect too much out of this. But we're going to see him a little bit later on in his true grandstand event, which is the jump. So our next skier to take to the water and representing the Dominican Republic, it is going to be Paolo Pigozzi. Younger sibling to the great Robert Pigozzi from the same nation, 14.25 meters. Robert unfortunately not able to be here. But Paolo looking good and showing us some elements of his older siblings' slalom technique, which can be quite spectacular in places.
Yeah, Rob had one of the best slalom leans going around, didn't he? He had some great shots over the years. That far shoulder, that back shoulder, be just about in the water as he came out of the turnbull.
Yeah, probably the second most requested slalom shot ever from the U.S. Masters. You know, second only to that classic slalom shot of Joe Cash way back in the 1950s. So, I mean, I know I mentioned about photo shots and what have you here, and I wish we could display them here. But in your mind, what is the true quintessential classic water ski shot? And let's just restrict it for slalom to the time.
Slalom's tough. I'll have to think about it for a little while.
All right, let's extend it out to jump.
Sammy Duval at Thorpe Park in 1987.
Do you know who took that shot?
No, I don't.
Steve Sopp.
Oh, good old Steve. When you look at that crowd in the background and just how late you could cut with those, obviously the boats weren't as strong as they are today, and that's an iconic shot for me anyway. Sammy Duval at the Worlds in Thorpe Park in 1987.
It was 87. It was also a championship which saw the legend in Corey Picos unable to make it through to the men's trick final and leaving the door open for one Patrice Martin to win the world men's trick title at that time.
Absolutely.
So Paolo Pigozzi, he's gone through 2 passes so far, and we're going to see what he can do with number 3. He started at 14, came back on 13, and will now come back into the course on 12. A skier who hails to us from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, specifically the Catalina Water Ski School. His father is on site, one of the world's top drivers, Mario Pigozzi, and managing whatever he sees out there in the water in the form of Paolo Pigozzi.
And I guess if I was to start thinking about great slalom shots, iconic slalom shots over the years for me, anything from Mike Shaylander turning 3-ball or 5-ball from the 80s, I think, that's some magnificent shots, a big arm in the water.
Yep, the old slam dunk technique. You know, he published a book on that. Yeah, you remember the
slam dunk book.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder how many basketball fans accidentally bought that book. How many mums bought that book for their Christmas present for their kids?
What have I got here? Opens a book up by Mike the Mad Sweet Shaylander. And if you are listening to us or watching this broadcast, please do send a live chat message.
Oh, this is
Paolo
good.
Pigozzi on 12 meters, using a little bit of slam dunking himself. There you go, some great skiing there from Paolo Pigozzi, wearing bib 84 and representing the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, this is good skiing. He's looked good all set, this young guy, and great start there on 1-ball.
So in 2025, he competed at his own Catalina Cup. He scored, his best score in that competition was 5.5 on 12 meters. His best score of the season was at the Latin American Championships over at Lago Manain in Paraguay, and he scored 2.5 and 11 there. And that Lago Menin site has definitely been hosting some top quality events in the last few months. Case in point, just this past week, Paraguay was actually the host nation for the Pan American Youth Games, which attracted a lot of talent from across Latin America and the other Americas as well. And Lago Menin was the site for all of that tournament action, and it won some rave reviews.
It's great to see some big world class tournaments being held there in Paraguay. Here we go, Pablo. This is 11.25, round one ball. Gets to 2. He could get to round 3 here. I think he's around 3. Oh,
he gets the 3.
Puts the arm in the water, bounces back up. He gets 3 on the 11.25 metre line. A solid score. I think he'll be pretty happy with that one, Tony. Puts him in the second spot.
Yeah, but might actually be a third spot. But if it is second, it will be a two-way tie for it.
Yeah, not quite Shaylander. He put the arm in the water, but he didn't put his whole body in the water.
All right, 3 at 11.25 meters, if that score stands, is good enough for outright second spot right now. But then the drop-off between first and second is very, very steep there between the score of Jakob Bonja with 3.5 at 10.75 meters, and then second place, 3 at 11.25 meters, the score that we've just seen performed by Paolo Pagozzi. So, decent performance, I would say, and probably one of his better ones of the season.
Yeah, good stuff. Conditions really good out there. Obviously one of the world's premier water ski sites here. So many PBs so far in this men's slalom elimination. Shows some good things to come. There's going to be some big scores, I think, here, these worlds.
And we're certainly hosting these worlds right here in Rocchetto in 2025 in a world with a heck of a lot less turmoil compared to 2001.
Yeah, that was only a week after September 11, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was,
the last Worlds here, and last Open Worlds here.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't here, but I remember hearing some stories about the emotion around that. Literally started 3 or 4 days after the attacks.
And the United States team that was being represented at this venue at that time was the only U.S. sports team that was abroad at the time. So you've got to factor that. Oh, look at this. This is Luca Rockenwald. Oh, my word. If he had any aspirations to the overall, that could have been done and dusted right there and then.
One of the best jumpers in the world, of course, Luca. He's eyeing up a medal in the jump event.
Yep, indeed. He's the current European men's jump champion. He won that title over at Salmsee. In Linz in Austria. Wonderful site, and if you want to watch those championships once again, you can search the archives here on the TWBC YouTube channel, and all of the events in the last 15 years that have been broadcast on TWBC are archived for your
I think I know
pleasure.
what happened there. Luke had been listening on the start doc to me talking about Mike Shaylander on 5-ball, and he thought,
hello.
Hey,
You want slam dunk? I'll give you slam dunk.
But he did not carry it off very well. In fact, he almost fell.
And there we go. We see our Dutch skier about to take to the water. Frick School from Rui Plas in Handel, which is a little ways outside Eindhoven. And, here we go, getting ready for Luca Rockenwald. Let's see if he can just take it just a skosh easier here. 14.25 meter start, 13 meter return pass. Getting a little bit narrow on number 2, but he has good rotation, counter rotation into number 3. Now he's getting a little bit more intense behind the boat and allowing that ski to go around. And just to let you know that he hardly gives a rip.
Technically though, I'm not giving full credit on that. He didn't actually touch the buoy there. As he went around, he let go with his inside hand, which is a really cool thing to do. I know if I could still actually get up on a ski, I'd probably still do that at the national champs. But he actually missed the buoy here, so we'll watch the replay, but I don't know if I'm giving him full credit on the tap of the buoy as he went around it.
Yeah.
A little bit narrow for 2, as you said, Tony, but he really pretty comfortable pass for him.
I do have to give him a props over to the homologator as well, who's made sure that these buoys are exactly the right height. I mean, there are just, they're barely floating.
They're a lot,
like.
lot lower in the water than when what was his name, Johnny Cash was skiing at the
Joe
Masters.
Cash.
Joe Cash in 1960.
I need to show you some photos of me slaloming in Abu Dhabi, where the buoys were knee high. And that hurt, seriously. If you wanted to try and backside those buoys, good luck. All right, then, so here we go. Luca Rockenwald coming to us from Österreich.
.12-metre line now. Important for the Austrian team score, I would think. Try and get as far down. He wants to get into 11, of course. Deep into 11. This 12-metre line's looking pretty comfortable at the moment. Round 5 and over to 6. Good pass.
There you go. Fantastic effort there from Luca Rockenwald, and it certainly wasn't going to go down on 12 meters. In his mind, he said 999. So round number 1, again a good hook up into number 2. And, an incredibly talented overall skier. I mean, obviously, his best event is jump. He is the current European jump champion. He scored a distance of 66.1 meters in the final and jumped 66.2 in the elimination round. He scored 4 at 11.25 meters and tricked 6,500 points, which is a good overall score in anyone's book. But I mean, when you're trying to compete against the likes of Daniela Filchenko, who can trick over 10,000 points and get deep into 11.25 meters and can jump about 63 meters on a really really good day, I mean the amount of overall talent in Europe, I mean, is absolutely staggering.
Yeah, and of course Luca led his Austrian team to a team's title at the University World Champs in Auckland back in February.
Oh, yes, of course.
Won the jump event as well.
Won the jump.
He's had a good season.
There he goes, 11.25 meters. Oh, he was waiting up on number 2. And maybe a little bit of a false sense of security after buoy number 2. He thought that he had a chance there, and unfortunately just pop.
Yeah, it's a solid enough score, though. I think he's done... I'm not sure what his expectations would have been from the set, but he's certainly done a pretty good job here for Austria with a decent backup score in the slalom.
Meaning you've got other great overall skiers such as Dominic Kuhn on that Austrian team as well. So, and looks like the gate is under review here, so that score might not be quite what it seems here.
Big difference between 2.5 and 0, isn't there, on the 11? Oh, did that look okay, Tony? I thought it looked okay.
That looked okay for me.
Yeah. This isn't the angle they're
reviewing.
reviewing. Of course, they're reviewing from a 45-degree angle from the shore. We're just looking from the boat camera, but it looked okay from here.
Okay, our VRJ, the video review judge, taking a look at this once again to determine whether that score will hold up as 2.5. Now they have a separate camera view for the gate shot as well, and that's what they're going to be relying more upon to determine that score, if it is indeed 2.5 on 11.25 meters. But let's have a look and see. Let's continue on with our next competitor from the Netherlands, Frick School.
Yeah, Frick's been around a few years now. I've seen him skiing at under 17 worlds, under 21 worlds, now into the Open event.
Yep, skied in the Open Europeans, only in the slalom event, and got half on 11.25 meters. So he is on a mission of redemption here, and no two ways about that. I mean, he's certainly an incredibly talented athlete. He's gone into 11.25 meters in one tournament last season. In the 4-round slalom, the best that he did was 4, 3.5 on 12. Somewhat inconsistent there for at least a couple of other tournaments, but he is certainly a skier that's been through 12 meters more than a few times, and he just needs to get that breakthrough, you know. 2.5 confirmed for Luca Rockenwald as we see Frick Skoll get through the opening pass. We're in bib 147. And our next skier, our final skier to take to the water, and this is going to be a treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. Wearing bib 60 is Matty Gonzalez. Now, he's there purely to score points for Team Chile, because he obviously doesn't have a jump score because, well, he doesn't jump. He doesn't compete in the overall, therefore. But
and because Pepe Miranda was meant to ski last, but he's pulled out. Tony, I don't know whether what the story is with that, or whether
I'm not sure.
Ski. Okay, sounds like he's going to jump as Pepe Miranda, but maybe not slalom. This is 13-metre line now for Frick Skoll from
the Netherlands.
Netherlands. I was about to say Holland, same place, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But don't mention that in front of a Dutch person, because
really?
they'll go into a different description. I think Holland is actually like the northern coast part of the Netherlands, and then you go down, and then it becomes something else. And Frick Skoll, who and his wife, as a matter of fact, is Miss Netherlands.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's a bit of a claim to fame, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Wonder who got the better end of the deal.
Geez, good on him. He's obviously punching well above his weight range there, I would think, but well done. That's pretty impressive.
Out.
Just trying to be, big fan of Frick, but that is impressive. His wife is Miss
Netherlands, yes.
Well done.
All right, then, let's have a look and see. Frick Skoll.
12-metre line.
Number 1.
Yeah, not a bad start.
All right, he's going to have to grit and get the bit between his teeth here in order to run this pass.
Good pass.
Nicely done. Round number 6. Good skiing there.
Yeah, that's a good pass. 12-metre line, no problems at all. As he'll shorten out to the 11.25.
Yeah, indeed. Now, he's got to get settled down here. I mean, as soon as he pulls out and sees that rope get onto 11.25 meters, it's a pass he knows that he can run, and if he can, then things open up a lot for him. I haven't seen him run 11.25 meters in recent times, but he's certainly someone who's capable of doing it. And I'm sure that his good friend Jody Fisher, with whom he has trained with in the past, is looking rather intently to see what Frick Skoll can produce. As we see Matty Gonzalez get ready to go, he is our final skier to go. He comes to us from Chile. Chi, le. All right then, folks. Frick Skoll, 11.25 meters. Let's see if we can see another outstanding performance from our early series competitors. Currently, Jakob Bonya's in the lead with 3.5 on 10.75 meters. Oh, look at this. Frick Skoll, nicely done. Oh, look at that. What a turn on number 2.
Oh,
he's good for number 3. He is exceptional on number 4. Can he make it outside buoy number 5? Yes, he can, and this is his season's best score, and he is pleased as punch with that.
Solid score. What a big one ball. Just a bit of the arm, the elbow in the water, and good strong one ball. Got him off to a good start.
Never mind one ball. That number 2, I mean, was what was the turn that kind of made it for him here. I mean, he got a good turn. He got the whole Mike Shaylander
I like that one ball. Yeah, 2 was good as well, Tony. I'll give you that.
Yeah, definitely. He got the ski to grip and stay there. But he got pulled up a little bit into number 4 and couldn't get enough of his body outside the buoy line on number 4 to really make an impact on pond 5. Looks like the score is under review. It's either going to be a 4 or a 5.
Solid skiing, though. Good on him. He's happy. Little half fist pump there.
So what great skiing that we've seen today. I mean, we've seen some determined athleticism here today. And I think before we end this broadcast, after Matty Gonzalez, we'll play that game show that's been absolutely going around the world. We're gonna play Choose Your Pass. And we'll replay that one. The pass of your choice there, Glenn. So start thinking about what pass you'd want to see.
I didn't really watch the first 15 skiers, though, so I'll have a think about it, though.
Here is Matty Gonzalez, 14.25 meters.
I like his slalom style.
Very aggressive, very free-flowing, and that
Free arm,
rotation.
the free arm gets thrown almost like a cricket bowling action there.
Or just flopping onto a lounger. Well, for me anyway. I don't know about you, but... Or just like waking up in the morning, just throwing the covers back. Anyway, that's Matty Gonzalez, pass number 1, 14.25 meters. Okay, looks like we got a score for Frick's score. It's going to be 3 on 11. He was inside buoy number 4, so a little bit of a disappointing result there, but the effort was certainly there for Frick's score. It is 3 at 11.25 meters, and that concludes his run, unfortunately, but that's tough.
I think when we looking ahead to the pass of the day coming up soon, Tony, we need to find someone that ran a pass for the very first time. We had a couple of guys that ran 12 metre for the first time in their life this afternoon, I believe. So we'll try and have a bit of a think about that one.
Oscar Domino.
Plus it had your magnificent line about pizzas, which was well thought out, I thought.
I try. Anyway, so I'll go with Oscar Domino as my pick. But let's hold off on that for a moment until we actually see the complete and thorough effort here from Matty Gonzalez, who no doubt we'll see a little bit later on in this tournament in his specialty tricks event, and he is the current Pan American Youth Games trick champion, as well as being a regularly titled tricker in many other tournaments across the world.
Very talented kid. I'd imagine that any sport he tried, he'd be very good at. Imagine to be a wonderful football player. Gymnastics, anything he tried.
He's not that good of a soccer player, though,
isn't he?
No, not really.
All right. It's quite a unique slalom style. Slalom's not his event, but he's still very good on a slalom ski. We move so well.
But look at that for counter rotation. It's
quite graceful, isn't it?
Yeah. Boom, right there. So there we go. That is Matty Gonzalez, 14 and 13 meter passes successfully completed. Do you have Oscar Domino's ready? Pick your pass in a little bit.
Okay, Matthias Gonzalez now from Chile. Last skier of the day, 12 meter line.
All right, there. Nicely done off buoy number 1 and round number 2 as well. Counter rotates to actually control enough of that slalom ski's outward movement. And here we go, 12 meters, looking good for Matty Gonzalez.
I mean, that's in terms of how easy he ran that pass. It's almost would be your pass of the day, I think, Tony. That's a lovely pass from Matty.
So he competed in the Masters qualifying series. He got 2 on 11.25 meters. Doesn't slalom nearly as much as he tricks during the course of a season, but he has gotten at least halfway down the run on 11.25 meters is his best score of the season. He's gotten 1.5s and 2s and what have you, but he would really like to be able to do better than the slalom score that he produced at Lago Menin in the Latin American Championships for this season over there in Paraguay. He got 2:11 on that one, and that Lago Menin in Paraguay, a happy hunting ground there for Matias Gonzalez. Getting the slalom PB there and taking the Pan American Youth Games tricking title less than a few days ago.
Yeah, it was a bit of a disappointing result for Matt Matthias at the Under-21 Worlds, wasn't it, in the trick event? So it's good.
Yeah.
He bounced back a little bit at the Pan Americans, and now it's all go here at the Open Worlds. Here's the 11.25 metre line now for this young Chilean superstar. Not a great start though on one
He
ball.
gets round 2, but just about inside the boat guides.
Yeah, he just not the one ball he needed. Well, folks, that's going to conclude skiing for today.
Yeah, that will.
And we're going to we'll run down the leaderboard for you. We're going to be back, I think, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Our time, with a continuation of the men's slalom elimination rounds.
All right then. So looking here at Matias Gonzalez, still going with that counter rotation, but just a little loose off number 1, and manages to get the ski round number 2. And but there you go, get in to the wake just before the boat guides, and you should be scoring 3 as a result of that effort. So we're going to have a one last look at the leaderboard, and then we'll play our little game called Pick Your Pass. So there we go. That is 2, and that therefore confirms that your overnight leader going into the next set of a slalom series, starting off with Series 6 tomorrow morning. Who will still have the lead after those series? It's looking pretty good for Jakob Bonja, who has got 3.5 on 10.75. Paolo Bogozzi with 3 on 11, tied with Frick Scholl. We're also with that same score, a two-way tie for 4th between Albert Gros and Albert Gross, I should say, along with Luca Rackenwald with 2.5 on 11. Then we got a whole slew of skiers. Tied with 6, with Minkyu Kim, with Alice Polidor, with Jack Critchley, with Carla Lucas, and Matias Gonzalez on 2. Oscar Domino in 11th, and Gennady Gorelia in the 12th. So I think it's fed. Okay, so pick your pass. I'm sure you have one in mind, but for my money, Oscar Domino, 12-meter run for the first time ever. So let's have a look at this. Wearing bib number 81, and just rotating a little bit on his back foot there, but managing to get the job done. Actually, that's not Oscar Domino. That is actually Nino Feneos. And so this is the 12-meter run. 2 passes prior to that opening pass from Nino. And it was just a case of just fluid motion and just pure controlled skiing here, not doing too much, on each turn, and just really held everything together here, Glenn.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got 6 boys. He's not super early out there, but he's getting it done, and that's the thing, when you haven't run 12-meter line too many times, that's the way it looks for any skier. And you'd have to say, in the home of the birthplace of pizzas, Domino delivered here. Yes. In the men's slalom elimination round.
Yes, indeed, in 30 minutes or less, certainly. All right, then. So one more pick your pass, Glenn. What do you say?
Oh, put me on the spot here. Let's go back. Big fan of Asian water skiing. We had we had a national record for Malaysians.
That will be Aiden Yong Hanafa, bib number 139. So we'll quickly find that.
What did he get? 3 at 12, was it, or something?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, he got 2 on 12 meters, which is the new national record for Malaysia. So we'll have a look at that in just a moment. And bib number 139. It's always nice that they wear the bibs with the numbers on them because it makes identification of them so much easier.
Absolutely.
All right. And here it is, 139. He just cleared 13 meters and getting into 12 meters and just bringing the handle down, ski rising up a little bit. And he certainly tried his best to try and make a play on number 3, but the pass before was certainly a challenge. But
yeah, good on him. That's a new national men's slalom record for Malaysia. So well done to.
All right,
Aiden.
Absolutely well done there to Aiden. So that concludes day 1. We've still got a whole lot of other days to come, but let me tell you about tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be, Wednesday, and the starting the events that we will have tomorrow consist of Open Men's Series 6 Slalom Elimination Round. Then we go Series 5 and then 4. Then we go into Women's Slalom Elimination, starting off with 6 and going all the way to 4. Then we've got Men's Series 6, 5, 4 in tricks. Then we've got Jump in Series 6, 5, 4, 3 in Men's Jump. And then Open Women's Series 3 Jump Elimination Round. So if you haven't gotten all of that, then what I would suggest you do is you go to the IWWF results. You Google that, then the result will take you eventually to the World Championship website, or you can go to IWWF.sport, and then there should be a link directly from that to these championships. All right, then. Thanks a lot for watching this afternoon. I know it was a rather early start for a lot of you, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But our start, I'm saying in relative terms to their time zone and what have you, But anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Tomorrow we start at 8 a.m. Central European Daylight Time. We'll start with those events. So on the behalf of everyone here who has a stake in ensuring that this tournament is a complete and utter success, and on behalf of everyone here at TWBC, and for my good friend here, Mr. Glenn Williams, it is ciao for now. All right there, matey. Thanks a lot.